Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Laureli Shimayo, and this is MeWe Fairs for energizing body, mind, heart, and soul. We have events throughout the Northwest, many online. Today's our online awakening panel, and the theme today is the art of the cards. All of the practitioners here on the panel use cards as part of their work, and we'll all be focusing on cards today. We'll have a chance to go through and have you meet everyone and get to know, so you get to know everyone that's on the panel. And we'll talk a bit about the theme of working with cards today and the insight from cards. And then we'll be taking questions from the audience. It is free to be here to listen and learn, and a small price to ask a question of the panel. So we'll go around and we'll introduce ourselves, and then we'll talk about the theme, and then we'll be jumping into questions. If you'd like to ask a question, please, we ask that you pay ahead. There's information in the chat, and then, let us know. We'll make sure to get you in line. All right. Oh, and yes, and one of us is using birth dates. So if you want to ask a question, if you could share that in the chat with that person, that's Donna, that would be great too. All right. Let's see. I think I've got Henry set as a co-host. I can't remember. Someone else needs to be a co-host too for sharing cards. If any of you do, okay, yeah, you do too. Okay, great. Get you all set with this. All right. Henry, go ahead and let's hear. What do you do? And tell us about your cards.
Yeah. All right. It's been a while since I've been on a panel, so feels a little rusty, but it's so great to see you all. I just saw, Lisa, that you said hey, so hey back. I forgot to even look at the chat. So Henry India Holden over here at henryindiaholden.com. So that's very, very simple. India, like the country India. And so basically I'm just probably like all of us. I'm a healer. I was born a healer. And as early as 3-4 years old, my mom had a lot of trauma from sexual abuse when she was a child, and from abuse from her very Catholic mom. So it's nothing against Catholicism, but she was like a little over the top. So she experienced a lot of suffering, and she didn't have anybody. So she had me, and I just completely stepped into this role immediately. And I know there's some thought about, is this child abuse to burden a child? But I was an old soul, like probably all of us here on the panel are. And so, but, as I got older, there's really no space in the world for that. And so when I found the tarot, I found a way to have it come out of my mouth, because I would just be stopped, early on, I would say something to somebody that I felt was going to make this huge difference, and they'd be taken aback, you're crossing my boundaries. And so it's so wonderful when you use a tarot deck. This, by the way, is my tarot deck. You're not crossing boundaries. It's such a beautiful, consensual space. And it gives me goosebumps, and it allows me to just channel through, allow the divine to channel through and bring forth what needs to be said. And so I do this with the tarot. I'm also a certified life coach. So I've learned a lot in that training of how to help people guide themselves. So I'm a facilitator, right? It's not my answers, it's your answers. But you know how it is hard to access our own inner wisdom just on the fly. And so when you come see someone like me or other people on the panel, it's a synergistic experience where you, how I see it is that you create an emergent space. So just like emergent from emergence, to where in the space something can emerge that might be surprising or unexpected, or that you just have never had access to before. And I feel that that's what we do with coaching as well as with tarot reading. I'm an ecotherapist. I took the certification with Pacifica University because I really feel that so much of what we suffer from is this tremendous separation or distance. It's not separation. I can step out and I'm in nature right here in my yard. But there's a distance. Our lives are so-called modern, right? So there's this distance between our origins and our true nature, which is that we are nature. And so, and now we have this construct of humans separate and special and above, but also sort of alienated, or maybe I don't know what the word is exactly. I'm always looking for that. And then in sessions, it comes out, whatever the word is for the person. But it's definitely that nature is our source in this body. And spirit is our source in the spirit, which is all part of one package. And when we can access the nature, we are accessing our true physical power. And I don't mean physical power like that, but physicalized. So manifested in this body, in this world. We access this power and we access this wholeness and we access this kind of healing. And so that's what I do with ecotherapy. And obviously, all these modalities kind of blend together. Sometimes people want just very specifically life coaching, great. Other times to just give me a reading, great. And other times people go like, I just feel like I need to connect back with my true self, which is that I'm part of nature. And then we do ecotherapy. So I think that's really all. Yeah, I have a special. Should we talk about that? It's fresh slate. It's $99 for 3 sessions. You can find this on my website. And it's just a privilege to be here. And I can't wait to introduce my cards and talk more about that. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Henry. All right, I think Lisa is next. Oh no, DoveLight's next. DoveLight's next. All right, great.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Did I unmute? Yes, I unmuted. I didn't know if I unmuted. Good day, everybody. My honor and blessings to be here. I am DoveLight from DoveLightOracle.com. I'm just a regular person like everybody else. I'm also an intuitive person, a divine person, just like everybody else. As many of us, we have a spiritual gift. We don't know we have a spiritual gift. And one of the best ways to access them is through art. One of the best ways, if it resonates for you, to get to know yourself is through art. Many of us, as our beautiful Henry said, grew up with challenges of speaking up. And it's very hard for us to make sense of our emotions, our thoughts, our feelings, what's going on. And art, it's one way to let it out, let the energy out, be released in a healthy way without feeling so much confusion and chaos at the moment. And confusion and chaos have their place in our life. It helps us to grow and expand, but we don't have to get stuck. We don't have to suffer. And I generally do love oracle cards and tarot cards because when I see them, it's not only a card, but it's somebody's dream. Somebody designed this. Somebody thought about this. Somebody painted. Somebody sent them to distribution. Somebody was thinking, wow, one day somebody's going to read these and they're going to get something good out of it. So I always see oracle cards as someone's dream or someone's project. And I love that. That's what I very sensitive with energy. So when I touch an oracle deck, it's not good or bad. Sometimes I don't resonate with it and I just don't touch it. It's not for me. And others I do. For example, I really love this one. This is the first tarot that I ever get because it's in the consciousness. Most people has it. There is like a culture of tarot, like people who genuinely love tarot. Some people take it to the last astrology level. Other people just read them by intuition, just look at the picture, tell me what you're telling me. It's amazing. Tarot is one of the best tools to reach the subconscious because it's showing symbols, archetypes. It's focusing your mind and your subconscious to where do you need to pay attention to it. And it's very unique. And it's also self-empowering. There is no right or no wrong way to read tarot. Just do it with kindness. Just do it with love. Don't put prejudice. Don't put your own thinking onto others. Never take the power away from somebody, which means just because somebody is reading tarot for you or oracles doesn't mean that they know everything. Doesn't mean that it's going to go exactly as they say. It's up to you because only you, with the power of your choices, with the power of your actions, you have power in your life. I just wanted to say that because there's a lot of things going on there as well. Well, my special for today, you can have a 10-minute readings with me for free if you purchase the Hummingbird Oracle cards. And all the funds from the Oracle card are going towards Aimoa, which is the Ecuadorian rainforest. And in the Ecuadorian rainforest, like we're fighting to preserve the trees and preserve the indigenous people in that area. So please, if you can purchase those cards. And the Hummingbird Oracle cards are cards that bring emotional healing, connection to nature, and the spirit of the birth. It's amazing. Now, I don't know if I should be talking about my oracles now or later, the other ones that I use, or can I do it now or later?
Yeah. Let's just talk generally now, and we'll come around and talk about all the cards and just briefly. Yeah.
Okay,
Great.
thank you. Don't forget to ground before you read tarot cards, please, or oracles. Thank you.
That's great. And I've got Henry's and DoveLight Oracle's contact info in the chat too. All right, now Lisa.
Thanks, Laureli. Good morning, mystics, mages, and muggles. I'm Lisa Stewart of co-createmagic.com, magic with a CK. I'm a creative mixed medium, seer, psychic, and energy worker. I work with my angels, my ancestors, spirit guides, oracle cards, like divination tools, and a whole lot of grounding to co-create with spirit. It's my mission to help mystics find the courage to co-create their dreams, to grow their income and their confidence. As an intuitive business guide, designer, inventor, and author, I've got over 30 years of business experience. Over the years, I've had incredible opportunity to design and build several hundred products over the years, and it's been rewarding to see them being sold worldwide through my brick and mortar store as well as online. One of the most incredible experiences in my career has been having several of my products featured in both local and national news, as well as in movies. And the icing on the cake was I had the opportunity to design a mask for a superhero. I've had the privilege of authoring several articles for industry publications, all co-creating with spirit. And I use this experience to help mystics set up their business, mentoring mystics who want to move from the work world to the spiritual world, and creatives who simply want to infuse magic into their products and business. So if this sounds like you, I can help you conjure wicked brand magic, create product lines and services that customers love, and to weather all storms, and to cultivate the feels to market yourself without resorting to psychic mind control. I'll tell you what, don't feel ashamed if you feel resistance to marketing and selling. We're not born knowing this stuff. And because of this, I've created business energy oracle cards that align with your business structure. 5 energies that include aether, air, water, fire, and earth, to use either alone or with tarot, as well as digital tarot spreads to integrate into your business as well, like moon phases and assorted other spreads. So if you feel stuck and want to shift from chasing clients to being chased, or want to make a full-time income fast and you don't know where to start, I'm announcing my soft launch of Mystic Maker's Business Portal. Everything you need to quickly build your brand reputation to become a recognized authority and guide. This portal is for the spirited, courageous, creative entrepreneur who wants support building their business, even if they're not tech savvy. So thank you so much for hanging out with us today to learn more about how to work with Oracle and Tarot cards. And I can't wait to show you how I can demonstrate using these for your business. And stay magical.
Great. Thank you, Lisa. All right, we've got Donna and then Lesley.
Okay. Hi there, everyone. My name is Donna Webb, and my craft is called Cardology, which is the ancient science behind playing cards. And a lot of people don't know this, but tarot cards are actually a spin-off of playing cards. The way that the system works is that a person's birth date is associated with a playing card, which in the system is called a birth card. For example, my birth card is the Queen of Club. See the similarity? It's actually called the Mother of Intuition card. So I also am an intuitive person and use that for the readings that I do. The card that you are associated with embeds a person with higher and lower personality traits, your purpose in life, your past lives and related karma, your life lessons. So you might be familiar with in astrology how there are these yearly planetary transits that reveal future energies that influence you. Well, this system actually accounts for that. And so it captures these energies in what are called yearly spreads. And what I do is I interpret these yearly spreads to help navigate the energies that they're currently experiencing or will be experiencing in the future. And these energies are related to like pending moves, job changes, relationships, and pretty much everything. And of course, there's always free will. So everyone has free will as to how they'll respond to these different energies. I also have a doctorate degree in education. So my specialty, or one of my specialties, is working with parents. I help them understand and apply cardology to understand their children by knowing their birth card, and then also to help them navigate some parenting or educational challenges that may be going on based on that child's birth card and maybe even the parents' birth cards.
All right, great. Thank you so much. Yeah, I got your info in the chat. And then Lesley and Donna and Lesley are both joining us for the first time on our panels. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi. So, I mean, I've been reading tarot for about 30 years, and I use different decks, and it's really, I don't really worry too much about time. I mean, I keep within a certain amount, but really it's about finding or solving that answer for people and making them feel that they've got what they need from the session, and connecting with them. And if I don't feel a connection, or if I can't answer something, I'll be honest about that. And it's really not about making the money. It's really about helping people. So I use different texts. And like I said, I like to bring fun to it. So that's why I created this pinup tech, and I have worked in graphic design. So I added in elements, and I just wanted to do something a little fun and different. And some people may turn their nose at that, or they may love it just because they want to add something whimsical to what they're doing. And then I love to use oracle cards too. And once again, I use this Circus Divine deck. And a lot of this stems from what I do is I'm a photographer and a graphic designer, and I do spirit portraits, and I take images of past loved ones and I animate them to bring them to life for people. And people can view them on their phone, digital frame, computer. And it's as simple as an image where their eyes are blinking, and I add music, or there's butterflies floating. And this gives them a feeling of, you know, knowing that that person is always with them. And so, and on top of that, I also do fantasy portraits, you know, angels, mermaids, and a lot of my work has been in pinup and burlesque. So a lot of costuming and just kind of allowing people to step outside themselves. And I do the same thing with the readings, where I let people just kind of play and reveal and discover things that they wouldn't normally do with just anyone, or maybe even with people they think are close to them. They just want to keep it private, you know, and it helps them discover who they are and what they want to do, and just add some fun to their life and just kind of adventure. So it's, you know, the cards and the photography are like a photo adventure.
Great, great. Thank you so much. All right. And I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader, body psychology coach, matchmaker. And before I ever got started doing any intuitive work, before I ever started learning how to read people's eyes, I learned about these O cards. I love these cards, and I'm going to be talking about them more later today. Let me say, I do believe that we're all intuitive, whatever a modality, whatever way we're open, we're picking stuff up all the time. And our big opportunity is, do we listen? So my aim in all that I do is to help people be more aware of what's already here that they're not as sensitive to as they could be. So I believe that eyes are a window to the soul. We are being our soul the best we know how. There are clues all over of how we can be more in alignment with, more true to our soul and our expression. So by reading people's eyes, my aim is to help them better understand who they are and make choices that way, so they get more sensitive to those messages. And I use cards for the same thing. So just cards, right? These are pairs of cards. And we read them in groups. I'm a fan of like groups and patterns. And so I pick that up in people's eyes as well as in the cards. And my aim is for the cards to reveal, again, what we might already know and we're not paying enough attention to. Same thing with my body psychology, picking up subtle patterns and things that are already here and helping people be more and more aware. So I bring my capacity for insight, my intuition, helping us be more sensitive to what's already here and feel the courage to follow that. You can learn more about my intuitive eye reading work at intuitiveeyereading.com. I love to use this work for matchmaking, help people choose partners for whatever they're up to, be it business or romance, or in particularly to find soulmates. And online dating is my favorite ways to do that because I see so many people's eyes all the time. Well, yes, there's a range of all the things I do. In addition to running the MeWe events, I'll put my info in the chat too. I also do authentic relating facilitation. I happen to have tons of authentic relating stuff coming up here in the next few days, the next couple of weeks. Yeah. So that's me. And it's exciting that we get to do all these different themes. And I get to connect with all these different practitioners for all these different events. So it's fun now. We get to talk about cards and how we all use cards. And I have some of you, it's an important part of your work. So you've all shared a little bit before. And so let's have a chance, you have a chance to share more and to go deeper and just talk about it if you haven't really talked about it yet. So we'll go around in the same order and again, take 2 or 3 minutes or something like that. And I wanted to acknowledge I goofed up the schedule and so DoveLight isn't going to be able to stay for very long. So DoveLight will have a chance to share about the cards and hopefully get in for one question. And then, yeah, and then the 5 of us will be here the rest of the time. All right, well, let's see. We started off with Henry, right? So go ahead, Henry. Tell us more about the theme. And yeah.
All right. Yeah, so the theme of my cards, I'm trying to decide. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just show you the deck like here for a moment. And then when we do the readings, that's when I'll use the digital so you can really see the cards and their details. And so this deck kind of started in 2015 when I was trained as a tarot reader by Gaia Hawken. And what happened is that she instructed me to find the deck. And I couldn't find it. So the deck as in what really resonated with me. I couldn't find it because even though I wasn't yet an ecotherapist, I felt the divine in the world. I feel the divine sort of in my head. I feel it as a voice, usually from over here, or hear it or sense it from over here. It channels through me sometimes in ways that I don't notice. I connect with it in meditation very deeply to where it's almost hard to come back out. But those are just sort of very personal experiences of the divine. But when I look into the world, like I look out here through the big picture window and I see this tree that planted itself in our strawberries, and there's still strawberries, but there's this huge tree growing in them. That's where I see the divine. Or when I see the birds and the bird bath, that's where I see the divine. When I see a child, when I see a human being, when I go into the store and somebody's pulling the cake mix off the shelf, I see the divine. And so it's like in everything, and especially in nature. So I wanted cards that express this universality and this all-includedness, if you will. And I felt that, yes, there was maybe flowers and plants involved in cards, but it was more like decoration, or it was more like in service to something about human beings. And so I know, the human story is our story, as I mentioned. And certainly it's never been more the world story than it is now, called the Anthropocene, the age of humans, because of the immense impact, not always good, that we have on the world. And but even though this is our experience, ask the bunny that's coming into the yard and feasting on the dandelions. It's not the bunny's story. And so, when you elevate your story above all other stories, as we humans are wont to do, then you kind of lose the connection with what's important to the other, the more than human beings. But when you're kind of, like when you talk to a child and you get down on the physical level of the child in order to connect, well, that's kind of what you can do with nature. It's not necessarily crouch down, but like just get on that level, and you notice that everything in nature is just as powerful and is just as meaningful and sacred and holy and expansive and just beautiful as we are, and maybe sometimes more so. Some people love nature more than they love humans, and I can understand why. And so I wanted cards that expressed this kind of sense of the sacredness that all of life hangs together in divine connection. And then I was like, okay, well, about the humans, well, where are the other cultures? Where are the other cultures as opposed to my white culture, right? Or my German culture, which is where I'm from. So right there, you saw how I was German centric by calling them other cultures. So it's very interesting how it always creeps up. So this creeps up in cards too. And I wanted a deck that didn't do that. So I wanted so I have the 16, the polyrhythmic universe, which corresponds to the tower loosely. That's someone in the Indian culture. And I wanted something, like the trees, and this is all beautiful. This is the divine mystery. So this is centering a tree. I wanted to center people, all of us of different creeds, different cultures, different races, different colors. And again, I wanted to center nature yet again. Here, this is the seasons. And then I also had well, what about this amazing thing called the space in between? So this is the card Limina, right? So there's this, we're always, especially as Americans, I'm not American, but I identify with America because I've lived here for 40 years. We kind of concentrate on where we are and where we want to get to. It's called goals, desires, dreams. And then so much of our work is about getting there, but it's focused on where we're going to. And Limina is focused on in between, when it's all yet undetermined. And so there were many sort of insights and concepts that I didn't really feel fully expressed in the deck. I mean, the deck is it's very old. It started in the 15th century in Milan. So there are some things that maybe we've learned in the meantime, or maybe some things that we'd no longer consider too esoteric to include in ordinary teaching. If we can say that the tarot is an ordinary teaching, it probably isn't. And so all these things that I wanted, that I desired in a deck that I couldn't find, just forced my hand. And so I said to the divine, okay, let's do this. And so I spent many years kind of developing. I first started with kitty cats, but I was like, okay, that's really cute. And that so speaks to me because cute's my middle name. I fought that for most of my life. Now I'm like, oh, whatever. Yeah, good, fine. But then I'm like, okay, it's a little more profound than that. And so eventually, about 4 or 5 years ago, when I discovered Canva, I was like, oh my God, this is the perfect tool, because I love collaging. I love bringing together different ideas and different styles. So even there, I love the diversity. You can see diversity is my middle name. And so I developed this deck. I just sat down and I said, okay, to the divine, guide me. And then this is what we did. And here we have the cards, and they're called the tarots, or the mystics. Tarot and oracle cards. Oh, I'm already in another world. I can barely speak now. All right, so I think that's enough for me to say, and I will reground myself. I get into this kind of divine space where, what is this? What am I looking at? This is a screen with pixels, so it sort of gets otherworldly on me. So I think then I have said enough. If you have any questions, you can just reach out to me, henry@henryhello.com, or you can go to my website at henryindiaholden.com, or you can just ask me here in the chat. And I'm so looking forward to working with all of you and to hearing from everyone. Blessings, blessings.
It's great. And I was saying outside the panel, so you're available for private readings, you're available to sell cards, and you're available to teach people to use your cards. Yep. All right, great.
Yes, I teach classes as well.
All right, DoveLight.
I didn't talk about that at all because I didn't even think about it.
No, I know there's only so many minutes. So yeah, that's why. So I know all of you. And so as I know things, I sprinkle in other things too. All right, great. DoveLight.
Can you please repeat the question?
Oh, it's okay. We're just talking about the theme. So maybe you do so many different things. I think you didn't mention maybe all the different things you do in the beginning, but so, and you shared a little bit about your readings before, but maybe could you say a little about, and I'm sorry, I'm not present to enough of it, but how did tarot show up in your life, and how did it show up in the range of all the things that you do, and how do you integrate it in all of how you do readings, and say anything else you want to about how you're going to do readings today while you're here.
Oh, okay. That gives me a focus. Thank you. I'm very intuitive in the way. That's why I need to ground. The first thing I do before I read cards for other people, before I read cards for myself, before I get into any psychic, spiritual, or let me turn this off, or anything, is to ground or to breathe, to make a prayer in whatever you believe. It's also about your body listening to your voice and allowing the space to be present. Otherwise, you're gonna do what a lot of I'm not gonna call it newbies. I call it novice. I think that's the most respectful way they do. They just do like this, and they just take a card and they get, oh my God, what does that mean? Am I dying? Am I sick? What's gonna happen? So you don't wanna get into that energy for something that you don't even understand yet. So it is very important to honor the tarot cards and oracle deck are not fixed in stone. It's what you do with this. It's how you use them. It's the information that you will get it. So please do not use tarot cards or oracle cards as an excuse to put yourself in a more confused situation or to give your power away. Just because you're gonna see somebody in the streets or even in YouTube or even in TikTok saying something from a car, that doesn't mean that they have the supreme power to know what's going on, because we all humans, we are not meant to know everything. That's why there is many different unique beings. We learn from each other. We always keep expanding. We always keep learning something new. So that's a very important point. If you can take from the art of the cards, never give your power away to somebody just because they sound smart, they sound that they know this, they study that. At the end of the day, with oracle cards, with any type of reading, it's how you feel, how you resonate, how safe you feel, how are you able to listen, how much you are going to be present in your healing, how much you are going to be present in your reading. You should never give your power away to somebody or use that as an excuse to self-sabotage yourself. With that being said, when I was in first grade, I saw this anime called Candy Candy. I don't know, we call it Candy Candy back in Peru. And there was like a witch who was taking cards, and I just got the casino, the casino, the play cards, the regular ones, the people, do playing cards. And I start putting it on the floor, and I start reading every single person that I remember in my class. And I was very intuitive as a child, but because as a child at that point of my life, I wasn't scared. One of the main blocks that is going to not allow you to become the best reader you can become is if you don't trust yourself. If you don't get to know yourself, how the energy, how the message, how the meaning is coming through you. So when we are children, we are very open. And at that point of my life, I was open still. And so that's how it started. I saw it in an anime and I wanted to try it, and I was really good at it. Then because of religious background that was supposed to be from the devil at the time, I thought that was causing my family bad stuff. So I burned it. But then it keeps coming away, but it was a mistake. It feels like I was losing something. I was losing a door to explore my intuition. And later on, I understand that the cards are not from the devil. Nothing is from the devil, but a bad intention, a bad energy. And you can feel that. And that can come from cards, from anything, not only from cards, it can come from anything. The same thing, the blessings and guidance and clarity can also come from cards. So we have a saying in Peru, don't blame the devil for the things that you are choosing to do. So it's not about the cards. It's about, again, the choices and decisions that you're choosing to do. Information is given to you, period. Done. It's easy. We don't need to complicate it so much. All right, that's how I started in tarot. Oh, and then later on, I start dreaming with cards that doesn't exist. Or every time that I will go to a market or a place or anything, I will find the playing cards on the floor, and okay, that's the Ace of Spades, the diamond. I think that means something good. And the other thing, okay, they're talking about this. So it was like the symbology was always there. I will go into a store that they're selling bread, and I will see like a big twin people on the wall, painting of the wall. Oh, that's the lovers. Yeah, the universe is sending me a message. So it was very archetypy, like symbology, like. And yeah. So one of my favorite decks that I use, that I will never ever stop using for the rest of my life, it's I Believe in Angels because this is from Debbie Divine. She's one of my mentors. I actually sell them on my website as well for the USA. She's from the UK. It's not only one of my mentors, she's one of the best friends that the universe could have given me. So she's such a genuine, real person. She died from a car accident a few years ago. She was able to talk with Archangel Gabriel, to the Christ consciousness, to get the message to come back. And since she came back from her near-death experience, she has been helping a lot of people to communicate with the other side to get healings. And she create also these oracle cards, and I use them every day because they're generally good. They're genuine. Like, it's very simple, very easily. And yeah, and you guys already told you I use the tarot. And I feel like the best way to start reading tarot, if you feel called to, is just to allow you space, ground yourself, breathe, take a moment, journal if you wish to, record your readings as well, if you can compare them later to what happened in the day. And basically, to me, that's what I feel with tarot. Now, in my personal case, when I read to people, I didn't want to read for the public. I was reading for my family, for my friends. My sister was my best client in the whole universe. She would pay me nothing, but she will come every week and go, why you say it happened? Oh, why you didn't say it happened? I'm doing this. Oh, how you knew? I'm like, I'm just reading it. But then I have, as many of us know, I have like a teacher who had to have heart surgery, and we were collecting funds, and that's how I started becoming more public. It's been a year or so since that. Now, during the pandemic, I also turned my camera off and I started going to meet up to read people. And guess what happened? I was not only able to help them and receive feedback that I was being of service, but I realized that sometimes through the power of the divine, because I'm just a regular person, I don't know anything about anything really, I was able to tap into their auras, into their soul, their energy field, their frequency. And I was able to get information that was not only from the cards, but it was very specific for them, especially if it's by divine guidance. So I was like, oh God, this is the soul frequency. This is not just tarot. But because of my practice, my constant practice doesn't make perfect. Practice make functional. Practice make practical. Practice make you trust, because now you're used to, you're not in the unknown. And because I was starting to trust myself, I was able to expand. So that's what I call my readings soul frequency readings, because I'm not only reading the tarot, I'm actually getting into the soul frequency or whatever your higher self will allow me to do so. It's not that I can go in the world, I can really see you read anything. I will be crazy by now. And pretty much that's what I do. I also do shamanic healings, and I do energy healing, which is my favorite one. And I do a lot of things, hypnosis as well for past life regression. You can see everything on DoveLightOracle.com. I do it because with the tarot cards or with the oracle cards, you can know what's going on in the present, the frequency, the energy notes, the insights. With the energy healing or with distraction or with the hypnosis or going past life or the ancestral healing, you can change it, you can shift it. All right, thank you everybody. And my specialist, if you buy an oracle card from that link, you can get 10 minutes of reading with me. Thank you everybody.
Thank you so much, DoveLight. And let's see, so we're going to have we're going to speak more about the theme with Lisa, Donna, and Lesley. And sorry, I had Henry and DoveLight talk for a little while. If we can go quicker, and then DoveLight, when we do the first reading, I'd love it if you can go first, if you feel ready, because I know you have to take off soon. All right, great. Just so you're ready for that. All right, Lisa, go ahead.
Thank you. Mystics, I'm so delighted that you are joining us today. My history with Oracle and Tarot began back when I was in my early 20s. I actually was walking through a Native American shop on the East Coast, and I've always resonated with the Native Americans, even though I don't feel like I have a blood connection with them. But I came upon a deck of Oracle cards with spirit animals, and I love animals. I'm all about animals. I'm a big pet advocate. And so for me, and having the ability to talk to animals as I was growing up on our hobby farm, it resonated with me. And I brought them home and I enjoyed looking at the pictures, but I really wasn't quite sure I knew what to do with them. So I set them aside, and every once in a while I'd pull them out, and take a look at the photos and just kind of feel into their energy, but I wasn't sure what I was feeling. I didn't have anybody around me to guide me. So I really didn't trust in what I was feeling. So, you know, I tucked them away, put them back in a drawer. Maybe once a year I'd pull them out. Well, 2019, fast forward, Andrew, my partner, and I came back from London, and the week in London was spent. I was basically a hitchhiker on his trip because he was working with his colleagues in some kind of marketing program, and so I was on my own for that week, and so I took walking tours, right? J.K. Ruck walking tours through London to see where she was inspired to write her stories. I learned that she was also a tarot card reader, and that's part and parcel about how she was able to get inspired by the story that she wrote, as well as taking the walking tour through the Warner Brothers film location where they filmed all the movies, or most of the movies, and they've turned it into a big area where you can walk through and look at all the production and all the products and projects and scenes and things like that that they created for the movies. And that speaks to my heart because I'm a maker. And when we returned home, I had this really strong feeling that I needed to go to a New Age store and pick up a tarot deck. And I told my partner, there's something I need to do, and I hope you're on board with it because I'm doing it. And we need to go to a New Age store, and I need to find a tarot deck. And he's like, okay, let's go. So here in Seattle, I attended, we got in the car, we went to a New Age store. And you know how they say that when you walk up and you look at all the decks that are on the bookshelf, and it's like one speaks to you? This spoke to me, the Light Seers deck. It didn't bounce off, but it shined right above all the others. And I'm like, you know, I think this is the one. So I pulled it off the shelf, walked around the store to see if there's anything else I wanted. I'm like, nope, this is it. We get into the car. I'm sitting with the deck on my lap, and I say, you know, I think this is what I need to do. I think the universe is telling me this is something I need to do. Suddenly my whole body lit up. It was head to toe goosebumps, but it was different. It was the first time I really felt full on energy, sensation from my angels, my ancestors, and my guides. And so since I have been working with them to build new products and build new services to help people in business, one of the products that I built was the Oracle cards for business, because when I was working with the Light Seers deck, I thought it was great and it helped me so much, but for me, it wasn't enough. And what I realized is I wanted to create something that was dedicated to business that allowed me to sense into the energy of the different aspects and structures of business. And so what I did was I created Oracle cards, and they're the 5 top energies. So for instance, we know that air is about intellect. For business, it's about strategy, marketing, communications. We know earth is about manifestation, but also for business, it's resources, tools, and revenue. Fire, we know it's about courage. Here it's about courage, forging projects, products, and services. And then water, we know it's about relationships. In business, it's also about the relationships with customers, partners, and even yourself. And then aether, of course, it's about space, spirit, and purpose. And what I love about these cards is that I use them either alone or in tandem with tarot. So if I pull, let's say, the water card, I've got a dedicated deck here with all the pip cards that are separated. So I will go to the water deck and I will dig a little bit deeper to get a better understanding of what I need to focus on. And now with these cards, I'll be doing an expansion pack. So I will be itemizing each of the subjects in each of the energies to help myself and anyone who purchased these cards to get a better fine-tuned understanding of the direction and guidance they need when it comes to working on their business for the day or for the week or however they want to use them. So that is really part and parcel how I came up with the energy deck and how I use it in my business. And I can't wait to demonstrate a little bit more today while we're on the panel. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Lisa. same thing. Lisa's available for private work with cards, without cards, all kinds of different things. And all right. So Donna.
Thanks, Laureli. Once again, my craft is called Cardology, which is the ancient science behind playing cards. So the original playing cards that look like this. I think you can think of it as like a merging of astrology and numerology. And I came across the Cardology system over 30 years ago. At the time, I was a middle school teacher. So yes, I worked with the hormonally challenged and I was working in an inner city school and just really looking for like some answers and kind of like how Lisa talked about going to a store and that tarot deck calling out to her. The same thing happened to me in a bookstore, a new age bookstore with a book about cardology. And so I started to learn about that system and started applying it to working with my students. And I found it was so accurate and really helped me become a more effective teacher that I started learning about it even more and have just read, countless books on this system. And then fast forward, I most recently was working as a university professor, preparing future teachers to teach. And then COVID hit. And like all of us, COVID just kind of blew things up. And I realized then that I needed to be doing this full time, to share this system with others, to help ease people's mind with navigating life by having this knowledge. So I started doing this full time. And the system itself is very complex, which appeals to me. My background's actually in science. And so I'm very analytical and I love the complexity of the system. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to take these cards and shuffle them and spread them out for you. Instead, I'm going to be using a computer software. So to analyze your cards and your energies. And I do need to know your birth date. So if you do want me to look at your cards and your energies, I need your birth date. I don't need the time. I just need your birth date. So I'm going to screen share and show you an example of using my own example of my own spread.
Wow.
So, like I said, it's complex.
Yeah.
And so I can generate this type of a spreadsheet for every person. And so you can see here at the top, there's a bunch of cards that are underneath this title called Life Spread. If you're familiar with astrology, you probably are familiar with a birth chart. So the life spread is like a birth chart. And Jupiter rules work. And you'll notice here underneath that there is an ace of spade and a three of club. And the ace of spade just happens to be the card that represents cardology. It's the mystic card. So interpreting that would suggest that I needed to be doing this kind of work. Underneath that is a three of club, which is the writer's card, which also suggests that I should be writing. And lo and behold, I've done a lot of writing. I'm a published author. So that information right there just tells me a lot about my calling in life. And then underneath these rows of cards, there's a 7-year spread. So that shows like different energies that I'll experience in a 7-year cycle. So I can look at those for a person. And then down here, I have what's called the yearly spreads. And these yearly spreads this is the really powerful part about this system, that the yearly spreads can tell me what kind of energies that I'm going to be feeling, experiencing for the year of my age. So you probably saw at the top that I'm 60. So this is the energies that I'm experiencing this year. And so as an example of that, you go down here and look where it says long range. The long range happens to be a person's main energy or focus, what their attention is really spent on during their year. And that, again, is the writer's card. And I'm publishing a book in 2 weeks. So yes, indeed, that has been a main focus of mine this year. And you can see that I can look at spreads for any year. I can go back in time and look at spreads, and I can move forward using my computer software to look at like what kind of energies I'll be experiencing at age 61. So that's basically what I do, is looking at your spreads. And I also have a website. It's called destinycardsystem.com. And I have various kinds of readings that you can sign up for, and also reports. I can use my software system to generate reports, such as like if you're compatible with another person, I can do a relationship analysis and send you a report on that. So that's what I do.
Great, great. Thank you. Well, I'm going to jump in. Sorry if you're, and particularly Lesley, if you're okay with this, what I'd like to do.
Yeah.
Oh, and actually DoveLight's already had to take off. Okay, never mind. I missed my opportunity. All right. Well, sorry everyone. DoveLight has had to take off. So we'll DoveLight may be back a bit at the end. So never mind. The thing I was thinking of doing, we're going to switch back. So Lesley, it's your turn. Go ahead and share about what you do and share about cards and all those things.
Well, I don't know what more I can tell you about the
Well, I
cards.
guess,
I mean,
can you show us your cards a little bit more closely, the pinup cards, and how you came to make the pinup cards? And I couldn't,
okay.
so Henry talked about Canva. Yes.
Okay.
How did you make yours? And yeah.
So I'm a trained graphic designer and photographer, and also a self-learner, and Canva's great. I use Canva on top of Photoshop, and I have no problem with all of that. It's just, I can probably do a little bit more because I know how to maneuver, but anybody can use those programs, and they're so beneficial for your business, as well as just have fun in your art, and you can whip out an ad easily. But for me, I did use Photoshop for the pinup cards, and I was inspired by the artwork of Gil Elfgreen, as a famous pinup artist from the 50s. And I did a twist on it. And so for wands, I did batons. For some of the suits, like I'll just go through here and find it. For the pentacles, I did gold stars. For swords, I did switchblades. For, let's see, like the pages, let me see if I can find one here. Let's see what else. Oh, for cups, I did martini glasses. So I made my deck fun and lively and kind of whimsical. I wanted to add some kind of life to it. And that was inspired from all the pinup work I did and the pinup portraits. And as well as I started branching into the fantasy and doing like more of these like witch stuff. And so like, you know, I was just having a lot of fun with it. And I wanted my clients to have fun with it. And sometimes when I've done photo sessions, I carry cards with me, because it's been a part of my life for 30 years. I've started using it since I was like 16, and I use it as a tool for self-exploration. And I taught myself how to use it. And then I worked with people from 16 until now. And then I used my intuition. And it was kind of like what one of the other practitioners were saying, you know, the person in front of you, you give them power when you let them read. So you want to pick someone who will listen to you, as well as, you know, you don't want to give all your power away. You want to, you know, so for me, I used it as a tool, and then I now can do it for other people. And I've helped people who were deeply confused. But like I said, I added an element of fun to it, and I do a lot of glamour, pinup, burlesque work. And then I have fantasy portraits with angels. I've worked with astrologers and created cosmic portraits to promote them. I've done portraits where people wanted a picture with their spirit animals. So I've created that and where they're in the universe. If I have to, when I learn how to share screen, then I'll show you some of these portraits on the panel. But until then, yeah. And so for the deck, I was inspired to create this kind of fun pinup deck. And, you know, I added in elements, I added in this, I did it all in Photoshop. You can go online, and there was a printer who can print one deck, because usually you have to print a bunch. And I didn't do that because I just did it for me. I wasn't sure if it was something I would sell. Just because I'm using another artwork. I am allowed to use this artwork, but it wasn't, you know, I didn't want to get into all of that with people. I'm just trying to find some of the other elements I added in here. But, you know, like I blended in like the swords. This is the 3 of Swords with the pinup image. I chose each image, you know, intuitively based on what inspired me with that suit. When I was younger, I had studied the suits and meditated on all the cards, and like, you know, when you dive into each card. So I felt like I picked images that I felt like flowed with the concept. Like this is Justice. So I did the 2 wigs. I mean, it's fun stuff. It's not, you know, but it's like Justice, you know, with the scales and like, you know, right or wrong and that balance. So I went into that and made it really fun. And like, the death card, you know, where she's washing her hair and like all over the place. I did kooky things like that to have fun with it and to really just play. And everything I do, from the photography to the tarot cards, even the jewelry that I create, the angel jewelry, it's all for people to play and to have fun. And whether it be they're stepping outside of themselves or they're just like expressing themselves in a different way versus tiny little earrings or nothing at all. It's allowing them to add color and life and fun and just, you know, that was the purpose of the deck, right? You know, just to add a different element to this world of mystic, and it didn't have to be so dark and gloomy. So.
That's great. It's great. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to skip talking about my cards for a moment. I'll just demonstrate them as we go. I want to get the first person up here. Well, so Angel 007, you are the first one up. Did you want to come up on the panel? I know you're in portrait. Should I bring you up and you want to share about your question? You're muted right now. Let's get you unmuted so I know what you'd like to do.
No, you don't need to bring me up at the panel. I know
Okay.
I look like a shadow. I'm not. It's the lighting in my house.
That's great. Yeah, you're backlit. It's beautiful outside. All right. What is your question for us today? Oh, and I should say, Donna, you've got birth date, right? I sent it to you. Great. Okay, go ahead.
I'm really looking for my soul purpose. I've kind of just always served people. And it was like almost 6 years ago, I lost part of my vision to surgery, and everything crashed. And I'm like, now what do I do? You know, like kids left home, and, you know, and I'm like, wow, I'm so used to taking care of people. I don't know where I'm supposed to go from here.
All right. Putting notes in here for all the rest of us. All right, so everyone's going to be pulling cards to answer your question.
Yay.
Yeah, so in practitioner, whenever you're ready, take your time getting your cards, your interpretation, whenever you're ready. Just raise your hand in Zoom. Let me know that you're all set. All right, Henry's ready to go. Go ahead, Henry. Say about 3 minutes or so.
Yeah. Well, I haven't pulled the cards yet, but so, you know, like Angel, so right away, you know, my whole coaching hat popped on, and I was going to ask you a bunch of questions to kind of drill down, a coaching term, to drill down to what your life purpose might be. But I'm like, okay, but today's about the tarot. So I pulled some cards, and and I see we all are probably. And so what came up was So I can do one or two things. I can just show you the cards here, or I can put them up digitally. I just find that so cumbersome sometimes. So the first card that came up was governance. And so maybe I can pull this real fast. Share the screen. No.
If you want to, I can just pull us down off Spotlight, so you're the only one up and you're
Yeah.
bigger.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. So, okay, great. Let's try that. So, okay, that's pretty good. Nice. Look, this is quite large now. So governance. First of all, we're working together. So the way I work with the tarot is creating an emergent space. So it's not about what I can tell you or even what the card can tell you. It's what the card can trigger in you, what it can bring forth within you when you look at it. That's why I like to share the digital so you can see it. But I don't know, today I'm just not in that space where I can deal with the technology. So governance is what some words that come up are like authority, vision, leadership, and then whatever comes up for you. So whatever words come up for you, if you have a way to notate them, I would write them down.
Yes,
Because great, because we're working with your subconscious, but not just subconscious, but also in the Jungian term, Carl Jung, with the supraconscious, which is the consciousness that maybe I would call it the divine consciousness, or from Hinduism, Atman, so the world soul. So it's that universal higher wisdom that all of us share. It's all the same wisdom. So you have it, I have it, and I'm the facilitator of it right now. So that what I'm seeing here, one of the things I'm seeing that I'm going to offer you for expedience sake, because we know within 3 minutes, it's not the right medium for me to do what I usually do, which is to just help you tease it out. So what I'm seeing here is this is a state of mind, because your state of mind, from what I'm hearing, is, what? I'm a little lost, question, sort of like that. And that's not all you are. But that's kind of what you've slipped into for what's happening now in your life. So accessing this authoritative, not authoritative, that's not the right word. Sorry, I'm German. This is the sense of, I know who I am and I know what I'm doing and I know my truth. So that's part of you, and that's, you can access that. Even if it feels right now, like that's not what's happening, but that's always there. Right, that's always there. And you can just like take your spotlight and move it to that, rather than move it to or keep it on, I don't know. So that was the first card that came up for me. And so you hear me talking, take that in as you wish, but also take in what comes up for you. And then the next card that came up, isn't this wonderful?
Yeah, if I could see, it's not your fault. I have visual impairment, so I don't see.
Okay, well, great. Then it doesn't even matter. Okay, so the divine love card is a mama cat and her kitten, and she's just laying there, and you can see she has her eyes closed. The mama cat has her eyes closed and she's purring, I'm sure, and the kitten has kind of stood up on her shoulders and is kissing her forehead, and it's a tiny little sweet kitten. And so I use that to express divine love, to show that divine love is not just between humans, but is between all of life. And when you are a close observer of nature, you know that this lens that science has put on it, that's about survival, and like, everything is selected for survival, it's just a lens. But when you look past this lens that we have been made accustomed to, you see that it's love. So what that tells me, so I want to just like, it probably is already telling you something. So notate that. And then what it's telling me, or to sort of, I'm guided to share with you, is go where the love is, in terms of your purpose. So love and purpose are the same thing. the thing that you love. So you may love many things, but there is one that gives you the goosebumps, or there's one that moves you to tears or chokes you up, puts a lump in your throat, some visceral response, and that would be the love that is your purpose. And so then the final card that I pulled, and I'll put it up here for everyone else's sake, is expansion. And so this is a person of, I would say it's probably an AMAP person, so assigned male at birth, but perhaps a non-binary person. And they're a ballet dancer, and they swing their leg all the way up to the sky, and there's a planet in the back, and they are wearing a beautiful garnet colored silk satin skirt that swings out like a half moon, and their hair is short and red and wild. And this swing out of the leg, one leg to the ground and then the other leg high up in the air with the pointed toe, is sort of about swinging out, about reaching past your body, because here's the body that's sort of, this is like in a T, the body is parallel to the ground, and then the legs is like in a split, is vertical. And so this would symbolize the reaching beyond the confines of the container that you think of when you think of you. So who are you beyond the definition of you? So we all define ourselves, maybe not in words, but we know who we are, or we know how we see ourselves. And so when you're wondering what your life purpose is, go beyond what you think you are, go beyond how you see yourself. Like maybe even look in the mirror. Well, maybe I don't know if you can see yourself in the mirror. I don't know exactly the extent of your vision, but maybe feel yourself, like pat yourself down and get like a different perspective on your being. Or perhaps freehand write without looking, like sort of automatic writing, something like things that you don't normally do to understand yourself. Or go out and hug a tree and see what the tree is telling you. And it has the same wisdom as the divine wisdom in the tree as well. So you can get this information anywhere in nature. You know, hold a kitten or something like that. So whatever comes up for you here are starting points. They're ways, there are avenues of exploration. And the invitation that I'm seeing overall is to trust that you have the authority to guide your life, and the capability and the skills and the resources to guide your life. And at the same time, also with the divine love, let divine guidance guide you. Whatever that looks like for you, you might not even call it divine. And that would be what I have here for you today. And I hope this is.
Yeah, I don't seem to have a connection to divine anything, or passion or love or anything. It's like, eh.
So you have no connection to love, you say?
No.
Ah, okay.
The last thing that I loved, I mean, almost everything I loved just disappeared. You know, my kids left, my dog died, relationships went AWOL. And so I've been sitting here for 6 years going, well, I'm glad I'm not doing what I was doing. But what do I do in this little tiny town in the Ocean Shores that, yeah, this was like the worst place I could have moved to.
So I think you're in a dark night of the soul, in a true crisis. And you can look outside for something to help you, or you can look outside for something to help, inside for something to help you. And I recommend the latter, because the outside is, you have so little control over it, especially if you're in a town that you are not connecting with. So the universe inside, it's like a very strange space where when you look inside, it's not the size of the volume of your body. It's an infinite space. And you may not have access to this immediately because you may be angry or hurt or both, or you may be disappointed. And these kinds of feelings, when their gratitude is covered and when just the sacredness of life is covered up by our suffering, it's hard to access these kinds of things. And there are so many recommendations, and there's sort of the one that comes up for me, and then I'm going to stop to let other people connect with you. I'm going to pull one more card, and it's going to be a one-word thing. Okay, seasons. So you are in a winter season if winter is not what you love. And where you want to be is in the spring season. And the way the seasons work is that they're cyclical. So without a doubt, if you're in winter, then you're going to come into spring, and then you're going to come into summer, et cetera, et cetera. So I think you get the message. You know, it's sort of like the wheel of life is capricious, it's unexpected, but it always goes around. And so you can nurture your faith and nourish your hope by knowing, you know, the famous "this too shall pass," but it's not that it will pass, it's that you will move into the next phase. But if you stay stuck with lamenting why the phase you're in, or it's terrible and I shouldn't be here, you're going to be there longer. So maybe build out and maybe trick out and maybe put some charms into this dry time or into this difficult time that you have. I wish I could say more, but my time surely is up. Praises and blessings. I hope that it was helpful in any way, shape, or form. At least I hope that you have felt my love in this little time we spent together.
All right.
Thank you, Henry. We've got Lisa up next.
Angel, thank you so much for coming to our panel today. And I feel your pain and your confusion right now. I went through a dark night of the soul myself, not exactly the way you're going through it now. Probably about 7 years ago or so, when I moved from the East Coast to Seattle, and I was in a place where I was supposed to feel joy. I was supposed to feel exhilarated by being in this new, beautiful space, and I just wasn't feeling it. And it wasn't until the trip to London and then coming back going, you know, something is telling me I need to do this. And for you, what popped out, one of the energy cards, and I know it's business, but we can also think of the business of you or the transition that you're going through, which is reinvention. The card that popped out is Aether. And of course, I chuckled, right? It's about space, spirit, and purpose and finding yours.
Right.
And so I think that when we look at the cards that I've developed, or, you know, they're based on personal affectations and life. They're also business minded. So please keep in mind that when you look inward to find your next step, think about the joy of reinventing yourself. And the one thing that I want to ask you is, what brings you joy?
I don't think I've ever experienced love or joy, so I don't have any experience with it.
Okay. So what I'd recommend is creating a joy list. And these are simple things that, even if you have to go back to childhood when you were 5, 6, 7 years old, consider the things that brought a smile to your face, like puppies, like bubbles. I love bubbles. Fireworks, you know, just the big display of all this explosion of color in the sky. What makes you smile? What I want you to do is I want you to create that joy list. This is something that I had to do when I was in the dark night of the soul.
Right.
Yeah,
I've tried doing that. I've been working on this stuff for like 4 years. I don't remember joy. I remember rape, incest. I remember being beaten, taking care of my siblings at those ages. I don't remember laughter. I don't know any place that our family went. It was just dark. So how could somebody have 62 years of dark night of the soul?
I am so
It's like I've only done what's in front of me because I had to do it to survive.
I am sorry that you've gone through that and you continue to go through that. when I was a child, I grew up in a very dysfunctional family, and my brother had his way. And of course, my narcissistic mother denied it. So I
got to do
had
that
to
with my dad and my brother, and then she denied it, and she had 16 personalities, and it was a nightmare. I tried to abort at 7 weeks gestation because I knew there was no love. Where I was going, there was no love. And I was coming in as light. And yeah, even a year ago, I got sexually assaulted and a domestic violence in my own home.
Mm.
And I've always been like the strong one, you know, the bulletproof one that nobody could get, but that was only because I had to. It wasn't because I wanted to or I had a passion. It was just like, well, I guess you got to do something, so go do it. But the only thing I have ever loved was dance.
There you go. There you go. Lean.
And now I don't feel like dancing. It's like I go to bed. I don't know if I'm going to wake up the next day. It's that dark. And I'm like, okay, spirit, take me home. Because it's like being homesick for heaven. I don't know if that makes sense.
Mhm.
But I've felt that way all my life. Like, no, let me turn around and go back. I don't want to be here.
Yeah. So, Angel, you're here for a purpose, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think that by the couple of things that helped me move through despair was going inward and making. And if that just meant just illustrating, just for the sake of illustrating, just putting pencil to paper, just to take the toxic buildup that was happening in my body and releasing it. Dance was also a form of that. Music was also a form of that. I did it because I needed to expel everything that was building up in my muscles and my blood. And what I've also come to re-enjoy and reconnect with is Tai Chi. And what Tai Chi does when I go through and I do tapping on my body, and you can find videos on YouTube to help you.
Yeah, I've been doing that for the last couple of years. And
okay,
it's just like, it feels like things are getting more constricted. The more that I'm trying to reach out, the more intense it gets. Like,
okay. So what I would also encourage is to close your eyes, go inward, and do some breathing exercises so that you
do
can
those. I've done EFT, the EMDR,
okay,
meditations. It's like, yeah, there's like this evil voice that doesn't like me. Wakes me up in the middle of the night. It's dark.
okay. When was let me ask you if you have ever had your house cleared and done a house blessing.
Well, I know every time I move, I bless my home.
Okay.
And I've had people remotely clear my house and say it's clear. And I'm like, no, it's not. I can tell you it's not, because my brother walked in 2 weeks ago and he goes, so who's the Indian, chief that won't leave? And another friend walks in that's sensitive, and she goes, who's the guy that's living in the garage that ate you? And I'm like, oh. And I'm like,
so, okay. So what I would recommend then is every day I clear myself and I clear my home, and I do it every morning. And so this is what I say, and I want you to borrow it because it works for me, and I'm hoping it'll work for you until you can find a shaman to help clear anything else that's closely attacked to you. So this is what I say. I say, angels, ancestors, guardians, and guides of the highest trust and compassion, welcome into my sacred circle. Everyone else must leave. And then I will call on Archangel Metatron, Archangel Michael, Ariel, Raphael, Gabriel. Please clear off any negative energies and entities from my body and home and send them into the light. I say this 3 times.
right.
And what this does for me is I can start to feel my aura clear out again. And I do this every single day, because it is amazing when I will go through, like maybe once a week, I'll do some more cleansing rituals, and I'll discover I have rogue energy attached to my feet. And I'm like, oh, and so when I clear it, I can feel it clearing. So this is what I want you to do every day so that you can clear your space, because you need to get out of that dark space that you're in right now. And that is one of the first things that I would recommend that you do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done that. I've done the shamanic rituals. I've spent $50,000 in 4 years on disability, working with people to clear the space, to clear me, to balance my chakras. And yeah, it's just like.
And that's great to do it intermittently, but for yourself, it's what all the panels are saying here in the group today, and that is you need to reclaim your own power, reclaim your own sovereignty. And by doing that, you do the clearing every single morning. And if that means you do it every single night as well, so be it. Because what I end up doing too, when I'm getting into bed, is I will ask my angels to surround me in a bubble of light, as well as my astral body and the cord that's attached to it. Because I am going through a number of trial by fires myself, and I'm incurring psychic attacks. And so I've got to be super careful and super clean about everything I do and everything I explore. So that is the best advice I can bring to you today. I hope that was helpful.
Yep, I'll keep doing it.
Yeah, we've got a whole
I
panel.
just hear the
for
voice
all
laugh
different
like,
perspectives.
this is fucked up. You're not going anywhere, girlfriend. I mean, it's not my voice. I know my voice, but I also know the other voice that's been with me, pretty much for life.
And it sounds like, and Henry's got something else to share briefly in here, and then we'll go on to who's next. Henry, go ahead. Yeah, Lesley, you can go next. But Henry?
Oh, can I? Yeah.
Who's?
I think Henry, you have something brief to share that's like a follow-up. Yeah, go ahead, do that, and then we'll go to Lesley.
Yeah, something brief to share. So, Angel, I'm gonna submit something to you that might rub you the wrong way, and if it does, I sincerely apologize. It's in the service of trying to help you. Things can attach to you, and they can be very pernicious. I've been there, most of us have, especially when you do this work. Oh my gosh, cleansing is like daily. Like if you're not a cleanser, you need to get out of this line of work. So it's not unusual, but sometimes, especially if it's been with you all your life, you can become accustomed to it and used to it. And so here's the zinger, here's the thing that might offend you. Look at what the payoff is. So what the heck could that possibly mean? Look at what the payoff is. What are you, in other words, I hope it doesn't offend you. Look at what you're getting out of that being there. And the first thing you might think is nothing. It's nothing but bad. But keep digging and keep peeling that onion. What are you getting out of it? Because there is something, because like the vampire can't come in unless you're invited. I'm not at all saying you invited it, but there's something in this principle, which is there's something, some payoff, something you're getting out of it, something that some part of you construes as a value, and it may be completely hidden from you. But now that I've said it, you can look.
I've heard that before. It's only here at the house.
Well, no, it's not, because you have moved and it's moved with you.
I didn't feel the way that I feel in any other place other than this house.
You said that this has been with you all your life.
Well,
we
it's
understand
just,
that it's
condemning voice.
We understand that it's gotten worse here, and that you feel it more deeply, more harshly here, and that more others have left here.
Right.
But there's so it's typically when something clings to us, there's a way that we're clinging it as well, and that's the thing to go looking for. So we've got Lesley ready to share an answer with you, so I'll get Lesley back.
Okay.
I know people have talked quite a bit, and I know you're
go ahead,
going
please
through
take
a
your
lot,
time. Take your time.
Okay. While you were talking, I pulled 2 sets of cards, and Yeah, I see you right now, and I hope you like the pinup, but the swords, like you've gone through these situations with people, throwing them away, and you're in the middle of
And
it
I just
now.
want to say
like,
too, since Angel doesn't see, describe the cards also, please.
Oh, my apologies. Let me describe it. Okay. So in both sets of cards, I see the swords jabbing at you, the conversation, the things, the painful things that you have been discussing with everyone.
Right.
They come up. You are there right now. That is what's happening. Those stories are around you. But
And-
in all the cards that I pulled, I
And
see
show the cards
victory.
to the rest of us too. Sorry, do both. Show the cards and
Sorry,
also talk
okay.
about them. It's great.
I'll describe them and show them. Okay. So so in all the cards here, I'll start with the pinup. There is an image of a woman throwing pictures of men away. She's throwing them and burning them. She's putting them in a trash can and lighting them on fire. And that card is the Queen of Swords. And that's kind of what you're going through. My other deck, the Three of Wands, this is the card where you've had a lot of conflict and problems. These are my beginning cards of your story of what's happening with you. The middle card, I have these batons dropping from the oven. She's burnt the roast. Like you're in the middle of this situation now, it's happening. So it's really hard when you're being told to meditate and to pray and do all this stuff because you're in the fire. You know what I mean? You're
Right.
still feeling all these effects of what's happened to you. And I've walked a dark road for a very long time. And I thought I had like what you talk about, like there's dark spirit around me or something. And then in my second deck, it was the same thing, but it gave me an answer. For some reason, it's telling you to get moving. It's telling you like to jump into something and get moving, like to be busy. And there's victory in that for you in both sets of cards. And one, I have a lady, it's patience, is temperance, and she's putting on her clothes, and and you have to be patient sometime putting on these corsets and clothes in my pinup deck. In my other deck, it's the Six of Wands. It's victory for you. There is something in what's happening here for you that's victory. And two tools that came up for you to use. I know before you talked about dance, I got the music card, and I got music, even listening to music, something that's going to enlighten your spirit and surround you. That will protect you. This is your tool. And your other tool is animals. I have a pinup card with a puppy that this woman is washing, and she's playing with it while she's washing it. So they may sound like nothing, but they're powerful tools for you.
Okay.
And it's going to resonate with you. And when you said you did dance, I'm like, even just hearing it is going to light you up in the right way. And that's what's going to enable you to have the patience to do all those exercises and pray and to win, to have that success where I have a wreath and I have the Six of Wands here where you're winning. And I have my last deck is the circus deck. It's called the Divine Circus, and it plays off this circus of life. And I see you kind of hidden away as the geisha, you're quiet, you're hidden away, you're almost having your masks, your protection, but there's things you have the answer, it's in you. There's things because you've been through so much, so many experiences, and it's telling me that you need to go fish, you need to get out there and play. And only you know what that is. But this is my messages to you. And for some reason, they came through really strong. I had to say something.
Yeah. Play. I don't know anything about play, but
I know, but that's why you're going to go fish. You don't have to play. Just go looking around. Keep your eyes open. That was the message. It's like, you don't have to do anything. Just keep your eyes open. It's coming to you.
okay. I'll be glad when it does.
Yeah, I know you're going to win. You will.
All right. Thank you so much, Les. Okay,
Sorry,
thank
I
you
got
so
passionate about that one.
No,
No, it's great.
you know, if somebody doesn't have fire and passion, I don't want anything to do with them. That's
But
just
you
the
know-
way I am. If you don't have, a passion, then move aside.
I just see you winning, and it's in you, and you have the answer. There's things you know that you may not be seeing because all the knives are coming at you. All the stories are haunting you. So that's where the tools, the animals and the music are going to help you release, and then you'll be able to see.
Yeah, I have animals all around me. I have a bear in my yard, cougars, coyotes, a lot of
Wow.
predators. My dog died 2 years ago, and that was the greatest loss. I think
My dog died too, just
and-
recently. Yeah.
Yeah, and my caregiver saw him laying on the floor one day when people were harassing me. And she's like, Keoki's here. And I go, what did he look like? And she explained it, and I said, showed her a picture, and I went, she goes, yep, he was here.
All right, thank you very much,
Things
Lesley.
you know. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm so curious to see what
Don't
what's
be
going to come up in
sorry.
the cards with Donna. It's great.
Me too.
Thank you, Laureli. Well, I'm going to go ahead and screen share. But first of all, I wanted to say happy belated birthday, Angel, because you had a birthday a couple days ago.
Yes, I did. I don't celebrate birthdays.
Oh, well, in using your birthday, one thing that I noticed is that your birthday is on the cusp.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering, do you feel like you align more with a Virgo energy or a Leo energy?
I'm definitely a lion.
Ah, okay, I love that. See, that's why you love the passion and why you've got a little bit of
There's
fire.
a lot of fire.
Yeah.
You know, I've been a
okay.
fighter all my life. I just got exhausted. I got
Yeah.
exhausted where like, I don't have anything left to fight for.
Yeah.
Why fight?
I think you will reclaim that. So that information helps me because it'll generate a different spread for you. So I'm going to share the screen and show you your spread for a Leo. Okay. And so I know that you might not be able to see this really well.
No, but I can hear you.
Oh, good. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm kind of going to be like speaking a different kind of language. So
That's all right.
as I described this. So the first thing I want to do is just like validate where you are at right now. And I see that I see that in your spread for this year of this age that you're at. And the way that I see that is that your long range card is a 3 of diamond. And the long range card is your main goals, your main focus, the main energy that you're experiencing at this age. The meaning of a 3 of diamond is a vacillation or a fluctuation of values, maybe even money. And so your values are just kind of all over the place. They're scattered. So when a person is experiencing a 3 of diamond energy, they tend to feel kind of lost. So I feel like not only have you had a background of, you know, as we put it, this dark night of the soul kind of experience, but you're feeling less grounded, right? This year particularly. And I also see in your yearly spread, there's an ace of club and Saturn is the teacher. And Saturn is also tends to be like the challenges, and the ace of club means desire for knowledge. And so this indicates to me that you're reaching out and trying to find some answers. And so that's good. It means it's the card of curiosity. So I can see that you're like, even just being part of this event, you're searching for answers.
Right.
Now your original question was your soul's purpose. So I'm going to go back up to the life spread, because the life spread is like your birth chart. And your main birth card, so your birth card is a 3 of club. And the 3 of club is the writer's card. It's the card of creative expression, which explains why you love dance, or you love to dance.
I used to, but yeah.
Right. And therein, I think, is part of the solution that others have talked about, which is your whole purpose and vibe in life is to express yourself creatively, to embrace dance, to embrace music, to embrace art. And I feel like part of the reason why you're feeling the way that you are is because you have blocked that energy. Now, in this cardology system, a person can take in an energy and express it as a higher or lower expression. The writer, being the writer's card, the creative expressive card, that's the higher expression of this energy. As an example, it's Stephen King's card. Do you know are you familiar with the sci-fi writer Stephen King?
Yeah, that's some nasty dark stuff he does.
Right. So, he takes in a lot of that dark stuff and makes a living expressing it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, but the low expression of your card is that a person will take all of that energy, and if they're suppressing it, it manifests as stress and anxiety. So that's where I see you now. And
yeah, I tried painting. I've tried, I used to be really creative, and I'm like, I just don't find an interest in anything new anymore. It's like, I did needlepoint for a while, and I did, lots of different things just to keep busy. But it was like, it's just keeping me busy. And people are like, you do amazing work. And I'm like, so, I've got a beautiful home and a beautiful backyard. And I'm like, here I sit.
Well, I'm going to push back on that just a little bit, in that you said, I used to be creative. Okay. According to the system, that is the essence of your soul, is being a creative person. So
Right.
you still are that person. I think you've just lost your way on that, and you need to reclaim that for yourself. And so I would suggest what some of the others have suggested, doing, of course, the cleansing first. I might even, because you're the writer card, maybe write down some of the bad stories or energy, not just real briefly, and then burn it and release it and let it go. And then using these cleansing and protecting your energy, even just doing a daily meditation and saying, in with the good energy, out with the bad. I mean, just even a practice of that should help. But then the next thing you need to do, kind of to Lisa and Leslie's point, is that you need to be making. You need to continue to release that anxiety and those feelings through creative expression. So maybe to inspire yourself, because you did love dance, watch some YouTube videos of cute kids dancing, and embrace different forms of music maybe that you haven't in the past, but just keep trying different forms of creative expression and integrate that back into your life, because I think that's going to make the most difference for you.
How does that give you a job with a good income?
Yeah. Well, what's interesting about your card too, is that there's sometimes there's this idea that you can take a deficit and make it into an asset. And so you've expressed to us that you've lost some of your vision, but maybe you can somehow, as you meditate, tap into that. How could I take that deficit and make it into an asset? Let me give you an example. There's this really cool artist in the Seattle area who is dyslexic. And so, dyslexia is where they read the letters backwards.
Right.
And she's a painter, and she turned that.
I paint.
Oh, good. Well, she used that deficit and turned it into an asset by painting backwards into glass. And she's like world famous now. So
yeah, I can see color, but I paint. People go, well, use it, because use it to your advantage, because how many people are legally blind that are painting? You're going to get famous. And I'm like, It's just color on a page.
But it's a different perspective on color because of your
Yeah.
lack of vision. You have a different lens on life. And so that gives you a uniqueness that will make you noticed by other people. So I listen to the other people that are telling you that this work is good work.
No, they just want it for free. Can I take this home? I don't care. You know,
Yeah. Well,
here, take it. Whatever you want, take it. It's, you know, it's stuff.
Well, Donna,
Right.
go ahead and stop sharing your screen, and I'll bring more of us up here.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Was there anything else that you were wanting to say in finishing up, or you're all set?
Oh, just one last thing in that another kind of like superpower of a 3 of club kind of card is that you're good at juggling events. You're good at juggling people. And so, you know, you would be well suited to jobs that do that as well. Where you're having to like multitask, you're gifted in being a very flexible person and being able to multitask and handle different things going on at the same time. So
Right.
those kinds of jobs you'd be good at.
Yeah, I used to do that really well.
You still have that ability. It's in you.
Okay.
And I guess, and Henry has something else they want to briefly add before well, I'm the one that's next. Good. Thank you, Donna. Go
Very
ahead, Henry.
briefly. So I could say in observing as you're interacting with everyone that you're kind of giving kind of not letting it sink into or something, pushback or something, or you have kind of like a closing down kind of response to it. So I think, and I'm not at all trying to make you wrong. I'm sure it makes perfect sense given
You know,
what
I don't have anybody to take care of or serve.
Yeah, but
That's
see,
where I use those
give
things.
me 1 second, because see, you're doing it right now. That's what I'm talking about. So you kind of have this place of, and I totally, this is human, it's human. This is nothing, I'm not making you wrong, but I want you to notice that you have kind of like a been there and tried it all. And you kind of have a sort of like a conversation, internal conversation for no possibility, but you have hope because otherwise you wouldn't be on this call, right? So that's good. So become aware of, and if you're not, are you educated in neural networks?
Yeah.
So you know that you have the neural networks for not having any way out.
No, I'm still able to learn.
No, you have neural, yes, absolutely. You can learn, yes, yes, yes. But the majority of your neural networks about all of this are about there's no way out. That's something for you to realize, that the majority of your internal conversation is this can't, here are all the reasons why it is the way it is and how it can't be any different, even if you're not facing this. So just try it on, you know, like see if this jacket fits, and if it doesn't, then go like, what did Henry know? That's totally fine. But consider that your brain is full of neural networks that keep you where you are. And if that is true, the answer is to create new neural networks. So every
Right.
time that you say, I can't, or this won't happen, or here's how it's always been, to train yourself to say the opposite of that.
Yeah, I've been working on that.
So, and you have not worked on it enough. I'm sorry, that's a little bit of tough love, but you have not worked on it enough, because these neural networks have to become your default. And right now the
Right,
others
I
are
get it.
default. I can hear them, right? We can
Right.
all hear, you can hear them. So need to do more work on that. And you might need a therapist to work with. And you may have had that in the past, but you might need that, or a dedicated listener with whom you can practice this, because it's, your brain is doing that. Plus everything else everybody has said.
Okay, good deal.
All right, I got a little bit more. It's kind of, cards are always fun how they show up. All right, so I got to remember now to talk about what the cards look like. Okay, so I did one set, and then I did another set. So here's the first set. And so there are 3 different word cards and 3 different image cards, and I put them together in the way that I saw them. And so the first answer for me is just a very generic answer. It's not very specific. So the first word is slave, the second is love, and the third is share. And in the slave card, I have two people that are running. They're running a race, you'd say, and they're competing. And then the love card is showing a body with a naked body with their legs open. And yeah, so that's in the love card. And then the share card has the sun and the, right, the sun and the, like some rolling hills, the blue sky. So the generic thing for me is, yeah, so, oh goodness, if we're a slave to the race and the competition, it's just like we're a slave to that thing and we're miserable. And in general, if we focus on what we love, and I connect love, right? Passion, sexual is also to me aliveness. So we focus on where we feel the most alive and we share that. That's where we'll feel the joy. That's where we'll be living our purpose. So it's a very generic read. And as you started to answer the first person, it was really clear that I needed to draw my cards. So I drew a second set of cards. And so, of course, in addition to the love card, we got the hate card. So I've got, on this one, I've got boast, hate, and comic. And inside the boast card, I have like a military march. And inside the hate card, I have a group of students, I'll call them students in a library, studying. And then for comic, I have, it's a human that's all wound up tightly in the corner. And so what I'm doing here is you boast about how you in a militaristic way, you've made it through so much that has been so hard. You don't exactly boast about it, but you talk about it in a way you clearly are proud of all you've made it through, even though you are very hateful and pissed. To me, you've mastered some, and really to do a word cloud, I'd recommend around anger and hate and bitter and all the words that are around this. So I feel like your life in many ways has been a study of this. You are so good at this, and there's more. And to me, I feel like your gift is to deepen in this. This is what you bring and you do, and that you are so good at. I don't know that your creative expression specifically has expressed it. I just think there's a gift of what you bring here, and it's related to what Henry was saying. And in some ways, the answer here is going to be.
I don't know that I boast about the fact that I just did what was in front of me. I just did it. Did I like it?
Did.
No.
And you did, and you made it here. And
yeah,
so
I just did it because I had to.
And the comic, so then, and then comic, I'm linking comic and irony and comic relief and release. And so maybe I'd say some of the irony. So we've got the love card and the hate card, right? And the misery card, it's like, to me, the one wound up in the corner is some of where you are, and you talk about wanting the sun. And I wonder if your being has evolved so that your passion is, and we could say it's just your wounding. Your passion is the misery. Your passion is the pain. There's a way that, as in BDSM, like, and I'm misconstruing in some ways, but there's a way that you feel pain in the sting and the misery. And I think that's really your gift. And there's a way of sharing that gift with the world. And there's more to do about that. So you're in your gift.
Mm-hmm.
And
Pain
it's
is a gift.
the reaching to go. They're reaching to go somewhere else and thinking that it's going to be bright and shiny and sunny and light and fluffy. That's not been your path, and that's not your gift to share.
I get to share my hate and all that other stuff.
Yes, and it's finding the satisfying way to do that. Yes.
Oh, like when I go to court in November or maybe don't go, we're turning in somebody for sexual assault.
It's making the pain that you felt and the hate, the mastery of the bitterness and the hate. And I get, like, there's so much more cruelty and pain that has shown up. It's to use that as a gift. And the comic is the last card. It's ironic. That's been that it's to find the gift in that. It's to go deeper in that, not as, and I'll say Henry pointed in the chat, I just want to bring 988 lifeline. We're not saying that you are to end your life. We're not pointing you in that direction. It's the pain and the intensity and all of the things around that. That is your gift. There are other people that feel so much, and you are articulate and you're clearly creatively expressive. It's finding interesting ways to share that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I were to write a book or be somebody in charge, boy, I talk about controversy because I don't mix words.
That's right.
That's right. But people don't like it when I'm in charge.
Well, some people will like it.
Well,
And it's for you to share this intensity and brilliance that's through you. And the
right.
people that need it are the ones that it will reach.
Okay.
All right, does anyone have anything else to share in summary in our response to Angel? And I know we went a little bit long, Angel. Thank you for letting us share a little bit more deeply with you. Go ahead. It looked like Henry had something.
Listen, if you're a writer, first of all, Laureli, wow, great, just stunning reading. Your intuition is like, wow, just.
I think we all led us there. Thank you.
Yeah, people think I should write my life story, and I go, "Oh God, you don't want to know that stuff because it was."
I agree with you, Laureli. We all brought it there, but you brought it home. Listen, Angel, if you're a writer at all, medium.com is a publishing platform. It doesn't cost anything. There's no barrier. You just go on, you put your name and your email address, and you start writing and publishing. It has a huge population of people who love to listen to rants, who love to read about what's wrong. It just really contributes to them. So you would be, well, it's $5 a month if you want to make money on your writing, but you don't, it's zero cost if you don't want to be part of the partnership program, which is where you get paid. So yeah, there's a huge audience, millions and millions of people who are going to want to hear that, like what will be in service of what Laureli said. Just if you're thinking, where's the platform for that? It's called medium.com. And I don't get any money for that.
Yeah, thanks, Henry. That's a great place of an outlet. But thank you so much, Angel. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to share our cards as a way of answering your question.
Okay. So I don't get warm fuzzy.
Your pathway does not seem to be the warm fuzzy. You know that. All right. Well, let's see. Do we have anyone else in line to ask a question of the panel? It is sliding scale. It is 20 to 28 or $12 for BIPOC folks as a step of making reparations. I don't think we have anyone else in line at the moment to ask a question. Yeah, I'll double check, and practitioners, if anyone on the panel has a question that we want to ask, we can do that too. So if you have a question, we can all answer it with cards. And if anyone does want to ask a question, remember, oh yeah, and I'll go to you, Henry, in just a moment. Remember, we want to get your birth date for Donna and answering with her cards. All right, go ahead, Henry.
I just wanted to, I have to say it. I'm just so tickled by and just, wow, so blown away by your demonstration of the art of allowing. And your whole reading was about the art of allowing and the art of it's one of the martial arts where you go with the kinetic energy of the person in front of you rather than encountering them. And it's just like, it's not that I don't know it and I do use it, but it was just such a master class in that. I know you kind of don't like to be praised, so don't take it as praise. It's just cold-hearted pointing out what I see as what's so. Just thank you for that.
Great, thank you. Yeah, gotta learn to receive, gotta learn to, yeah. Okay. Right, our journeys. All right. Well, yeah, no one else has mentioned that they're in line and wanting to do a reading at the moment. Yeah, so if any of us have a question we want to ask each other, we've got this opportunity. We've got half an hour.
I'm sorry, what, we can ask each other a question?
Yeah, we can. We can ask a question and the rest of us can answer with the
I'm
cards. You can
deeply
simply run
inspired
things
by all
too.
the great readings.
Okay, I've got a question.
All right.
So I'm trying to decide, my book is ready to go as far as publishing, but Mercury is retrograde. So my question is should I wait 3 weeks to publish when Mercury is not retrograde? Or should I do it now?
And then do you have a version of it that's I'm particularly because you're one of us, I'm just tossing it back to you. Do you have a version of your question that is not yes, no? Do you have a version of your question that is more open-ended?
I guess the way to phrase that, where it's not a yes or no, would be like, how well will it be received, depending on when I launch it.
All right. I'm not surprised that Lisa's got something to share. Oh, sorry. And then Leslie's next. Okay, so Lisa and then Lesley. Or did you have a question, Lesley?
No, I have something to say.
Okay, great. Yeah, so Lisa and then Lesley. Go ahead, Lisa. And if you want, I can
Okay.
make you the only one too if you want to share your cards big. I'll go ahead and do that. Take us off.
Actually, I didn't draw a card immediately. But what I do want to say is, and this is great. This is a great business question. Thank you so much for asking this. What I have learned is that whenever you want to launch something, is to launch it when the moon is in one of the Earth zodiac signs. And also when Mercury is out of retrograde. We've got what, 5 or multiple planets that are in retrograde right now. Venus is in retrograde. So the advice is don't do, like from a personal standpoint, don't do a new fresh haircut or coloring or anything that you haven't done before. If you've done it before, fine, because you know how it looked, you know how it works out. But take a look at those planetary alignments to see what's in retrograde and what not to do. But the one thing that I have learned is I've launched my website and my business. I think it was when the moon was in Taurus. And then I launched my I made a soft launch last week while the moon was in, I'm missing the phrase. Anyway, so it was last Friday when I did a soft launch. So what that helps you do is that helps create a foundation for everything else that comes after that. So that's where you've got structure, that's where you've got finances, right? And that's where things are going to start materializing for you. So yeah, so do take a look at where the moon is in the zodiac sign. And this is an opportunity for me to tell you that you can go to my website and download the calendar that will integrate into either your Google Calendar, or you can download a CSV file if you use a different calendar that will show you all the moon phases in all the zodiac signs and gives you tips and techniques on what to focus on during that time. And it's free. So go ahead and download that. But yeah, that's a great question. That's a fun question. And congratulations.
Thank you. And thank you for that information about your website too. I'll definitely download that.
Yeah. So what is your book on?
The title is called Unlocking the Potential of Children, How Cardology Can Help You Nurture the Development of a Child's Authentic Self.
Okay. Fantastic. I'm going to let Lesley go next, and then I'll probably pull up some cards for you later on, but I just wanted to get that to you immediately. So congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, great.
Okay.
Thanks. Yeah, I was going to invite you to pull some cards too. All right, cool. So we've got Lesley up.
So do not do it in 3 weeks. You could do it, but you'll be annoyed. 6 weeks, I'm getting, okay? And you'll be happy. You got the martini glasses. And then I also did hear you have something very like brilliant and just pure to share. Something very, if you want to say wholesome or innocent, but it's very beautiful. And this is a transformation for you. This is going to be very good for you. This is going to be very, like, it's going like life-changing, like it's going to be good. Yeah. So congratulations and best of luck with it. You will have it.
Thank you. I love the transformation card.
Yeah, it's quite beautiful.
Yeah.
So, you know, you've got something really beautiful here to share. Yeah.
Great. All right. Who wants to go next? Is that Henry? Are you all set, or do you want me to go? Sorry, you're muted if you're speaking to me.
Are you speaking to me?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I think
said,
there's only
okay.
4 of us. Are you all set?
You know,
or-
I have to apologize. For some reason, I'm so thrown by today. So it's like, wow. Okay. So, dear Donna, I got an immediate sense that you are connected with the stars and with the science of astrology. And I think that heed that, because you're so connected with it. You see what I'm saying? Perhaps there's somebody who could absolutely publish that right now and not wait. And it wouldn't make any negative impact, because it's not like we are victims of, right? We are the makers of our world. And so, well, we're the co-creators of our world. And so, but since you brought this up, I think it is important. I think it has an important plays an important role in your life. So I would listen to that, and definitely wait for the auspicious time, like downloading Lisa's calendar. Wait for the auspicious time, because you will be in better alignment. And your book is your creation. So your book will be in better alignment, because your book is not a dead thing, right? There are no dead things. It's all divine particles, if you will, or some equivalent to that. So yeah, and again, you know, congratulations. I've written some books and published them. I know this is a huge undertaking, and I'm proud and just in admiration of anyone who does that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been 2.5 years of writing 300 pages.
All right, great. And Lisa's got something, so let's go with Lisa.
Okay, I'm back. So what the card that popped out for you is the air card. And for business, it's about strategy, marketing, and communications. So I dove a little bit deeper and pulled up the 5 of Swords. Oh, such a fun card. My question to you is, have you tried publishing in the past?
Yes. Well, I am
Okay.
published as well in other things.
How did that work out for you? Were they a big success, or were they a disappointment? How does that rank for you?
It's a mixed bag for me. I mean, I'm academically published and successful in like academic writing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also published. I've done a lot of curriculum, lesson planning, writing for Scholastic. I was actually a writer for the Magic School Bus TV show as their science consultant. So I've had success with that. But then I've also had some non-successes. Like I wrote a bunch of children's books and got a bunch of rejections. I had a contract for a teacher resource book with Scholastic that it was many years ago, but it got, you know, it went through acquisitions, and then the economy went bad, and so they canceled it. So again, it's been a mixed bag for me.
Okay. All right. So yeah, so that's really where I was headed towards, your personal projects, because what I'm sensing is that there's some internal conflict in you right now that's going on, because you're probably questioning whether or not this book is going to be a success. Right? Is that what I'm sensing from you?
Yeah, I guess. Although I don't know. I mean, I feel like this is such information that has empowered my life as a using it to teach children and to parent on my own, that I do feel like it needs to be shared. It needs to be out there. So I feel a purpose and an energy behind that.
Okay, fabulous. Good. Because a couple of other keywords that are popping up in this card, and I love this card because, and I use this for all my clients, and you may already know tarot, of course, but what's really fun is to be able to kind of sense the energy in some of these keywords. And one of the keywords that's coming up for me is compromise, right? So make sure that everything that you're doing is in alignment with your energy. Don't compromise, right? So that way you know that it's going to be a success. Another hit that I got was, do you have anywhere in your book, like maybe the back page or something, that invites people to come back to your website for more information? Do you have anything like that?
I do have, yes, I do have my website on the back of the book, my bio, and I do have like a hook and a call to action.
Okay, so what's that hook? That's what I was looking for. What's the hook?
The hook is basically just saying, you know, have you ever wished a child came with like a blueprint of instructions and then strategies aligned to help them reach their highest potential?
And so then what happens? Do they take a link to get to your website, to like a specific link? Okay, so then is there a quiz? What meets them on your website?
Well, that's the thing. My website needs work.
Even so, you could still have a landing page, right? A dedicated landing page that will connect with your book. The rest of your website can be a mess, but if you've got at least a landing page that you know is certain, at least put a page, create a page, put the link in the book, and even if that's a bit.ly link, because sometimes URLs get really long and unwieldy, right? So put a bit.ly link in there, so that way you know that once the book is getting published and you're marketing it, you know you've got the landing page there that's going to meet them, and then you can edit that all you want whenever you want, right? But at least you've got something there to bring them into your ecosphere. So it's not, oh, I've got this book, what else do I do with it? It's, oh, connect with Donna, and then you can provide other options. You know, maybe it's a quiz, maybe it's a downloadable, maybe it's an invitation to a workshop, right? Or an online course, or any of those things, right? So you'll have that there.
Thank you. Good information.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for asking the question.
Great. I'm leaving you up here for a second. This is like so hard for right, to just use cards for those of us that do all these other things too. So just one of the cards I drew for you is the blank card. And you'll see it when I pull everything up. And so just something that occurs to me, and it's related to what Lisa's saying in some ways, is simplify. So in addition to doing a bit.ly link, you could just buy a really simple URL for the book and point it currently at a page on your website that you're going to make, which is the landing page. So similar to a bit.ly link, but it's got meaning in terms of the title of the book, and like just send people there. But yeah, even I wonder your title, simplifying your title. So anyway, Lisa and I do, as the plug, Lisa and I do business consulting, coaching, mentorship together. And so yeah, we want to look at your book. All right, so back to the cards. Let's see. So these are the cards that I drew. So in the order that I put them in. So let's see. So rival, yeah, the blank, and then mother. And so I don't have to describe what they are, but so you get what they look like here. So to me, the rival is just that you're like fighting with some different things. And I guess one thing that occurs to me too here, I'm just jumping off before. I personally think in some ways it's the hardest to give our gift to ourselves. Like we can have lots of insight for other people. And I know for me, I get emotionally attached to something. It's a mess, right? So I think that's true for lots of us. And I don't know if this applies, so I'm kind of, extrapolating. But if you looked at like the next days, the next 30 days, whatever days they are, and you did destiny cards for your book, birthing on all the dates, like, is there some day in which your book is wanting to be born? So I would use the method to look at that. That's one thing.
I have.
And okay, great. And then, yeah, so the blank card and the spilt milk, it's like, to me, you're looking at what's going to go wrong. right? In the absence of, you're focusing on the spilt milk kind of thing. And so the last one, mother and the turtle. And I think about the turtle or the tortoise, and I didn't really think of it as being slow, but I think of it as it's honoring its speed. And so I think of childbirth, and right, it's the baby and the mother and the messages back and forth and how it needs to go in its own speed. And there's something about its own speed, and that takes me back to like Rival and the push and the pull. And I feel like there's some natural timing, and it's letting you get in flow with that natural timing. You know, so Lisa and I have brought up there are other little things maybe that are wanting to happen before your book is birthed into the world. And so just, yeah, and not worrying about it so much. There's something about the worry and the tightness and in that I think is part of what's getting in your way to knowing your answer.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, practitioners, anyone have anything else to share? And then Henry has a question too. I just checking. All right, Henry, unless anyone else, I don't think anyone else has said they have a question. All right, Henry, what's your question?
Okay, so as you probably all know, those at least the practitioners, I don't do divination. And when somebody asks me to divine something for me, I don't like doing it, and I don't typically do it. And in part because I believe that, you know, everything is happening all at the same time, sort of borrowed from quantum physics. So nevertheless, this is the caveat for asking for divination, of course. Oh, I'm going to be so much more compassionate from now on when somebody wants me to divine something for them. So anyway, anywho, so I don't know how much to reveal, but I'm working on a project right now that is probably going to take the better part of 6 months. I would like it to take 3 months, and I'm afraid it might take a year. And I don't know if I need to say the details. I've been keeping it pretty tightly under wraps. But if anybody has a hit on what I need to know, I don't know. Should I say more about it, or should I just say what do I need to know?
Just keep in mind that we're recorded and this is all getting published. So if you don't
Oh,
want to
yeah, yeah,
know,
good,
don't
good.
let us know.
And Henry, I need your birth date.
5/17/1957.
So what's the question? You want to know if the project's going to work, or when you should do it, or if it's going to take longer?
Well, I mean, Lesley, that's a great follow-up question. Maybe I want to know how I can effectively make this as short as possible. And then if there are any other hits around it.
So what you need to do to make this project a success?
Well, part of it being a success is also for me, if it doesn't take me a year, this would just be extremely costly. The longer it takes, the more it costs me, because then I'm not doing something else.
Yeah.
So Henry, here's an idea for you as Leslie's shuffling cards and I'm shuffling cards as well. The first couple of things that I would recommend is to consider creating an MVP, a minimum viable product, a beta product. And that's what I'm doing with Mystic Maker's business portal. I'm creating a beta product for people to test, to make sure that everything's in alignment and I'm setting customer expectations and everything is aligned before I build it out even further. And believe me, I already have a ton of information in there, but to be able to do that so that you can identify where you need to tweak and pivot before you birth this baby into the world, because I've done that so many times. I've created products that I thought my customers were going to love, and they're like, I don't want that. And I'm like, you need this. I know you need this. And they're like, I don't need anything because you're telling me I need it, right? So when you start to invite people into the experience of developing and creating, they start to get buy-in. And if you're at all trepidatious about this, which a lot of people who are listening today and in the recording, you can always have them sign an NDA so that way that information doesn't get out and they don't copy it and this, that, the other, because I appreciate genius ideas. And I appreciate that you are, this creative machine and you want to build product and leverage for your business. And I applaud that. So that's a way to protect yourself. as you are moving through. So move a little bit at a time, get buy-in, because when you get buy-in, then you get people going, okay, when can I share this? When can I help you promote this? Because then that helps exponentially to do that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good reminder. It doesn't fit in perfectly to what my product is, but I can make it fit. Yeah. Okay. The minimum viable product, I can translate that.
And the beta product. And then I chose the fire card jumped out at me. So it's about, you know, courage and forging products and services. So on the nose for that. And the pip card that popped out is the 4 of matches.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, celebrate, right? You're in harmony and you are achieving next level. So it sounds like it might be a continuation and or a companion product that you're working on. So I applaud you for that. So it looks like it is going to be a success, but just move through it slowly, enough to get leverage and purchase on knowing exactly where you're headed. That way, then the timing is going to tell you when it's right and when it isn't. So feel into that energy.
So I have all the bones. I think I can say this, you know, as I'm listening to you, I'm like, okay, here's what I can say. I have all the bones, like the whole concept, everything is there. Not the details, because the details that shows up, right? Especially if I create minimum viable beta products, that will tweak the details. But the larger the scaffold or the exoskeleton or the skeleton is there. And it's a broad thing. It's not just one thing, but it's a whole ecosystem. Right? And that fits perfectly into my life purpose. And so I feel, and maybe this is what I want to hit on, I feel that this is going to be life-changing for me. I mean, it's going to be great for people, but I think the biggest impact is actually going to be on me.
Okay.
And I'm just wondering if I can get confirmation for that.
Well, if you know that you feel it in your bones, in your body, then the energy is there, and then it's just, you know, rolling with it. But with the scaffolding up, and you don't have the details yet, maybe it's a matter of putting in just a couple of details and then
the
bringing
scaffold is not up. It's developed. It's not up. It's developed.
Is it at least written out in paper form? Because I come from the UX background as well, right? So for instance, when I participate in design thinking for people in their product development, I come from the usability, the UX aspect of it. And what we end up doing is creating a board. It could be a form of anything, right? You could do sticky notes on, I do sticky notes on a closet door, and then I'm able to move them around so that I can create the scaffolding and I know what things look like, but it's easy to move around because if things change, things don't make sense. It enables you to be quick and lean with your decision making. Okay.
Great. Okay.
And then invite somebody in to see if it makes sense to them, because it has got to be crystal clear for the user, right? So if the user can articulate back to you what you imagine, how this project being used, this tool being used, if they can recite it back to you and then share that with somebody else easily, then you've got a home strike. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, not a new question, but a question of Henry. Henry, is this something that you're doing completely on your own, or are you working with any other person, or need the help or work of others?
Right now, I'm working with my beloved, and this is probably part of why I'm so incredibly excited about it, because it makes me want to cry. They've been working incredibly hard, and their life purpose has not really been that work. And now their truest talents are so engaged in that. And so it's just insanely rewarding So yes, I'm not working alone at all. I have a profound, deep partnership in this project. But no question, that was kind of our part B to that. No question, it even between the two of us, that's not going to be enough. It's going to need probably at least 2-3 more people at some point down the line, whether they're partners or people that have to be hired.
Okay, so I'm going to screen share and show you your cards.
This is so fun.
Yeah, this is, and I've got some great news for you with this. So one of the things I see here, in Mars, I see a 2 of spade. So the 2 of spade is the card of partnership or collaboration. It's in Mars because it might anger you. That's why I asked if you were needing to work with others. And underneath that card is a 7 of heart, which is, it can be like a betrayal card, or it can be a disappointment. So my advice too, in working with these other people to help you in terms of making the time shorter, is to make sure that you have very clear expectations with them, maybe even written deadlines as to when they do their part of the work, and choose the right people to do that. But the really cool thing I see here, because when you look at work, you look at Jupiter, and you have the millionaire spread this year.
Oh.
So the millionaire spread in Cardology happens once, maybe twice in a person's whole life. And you have it right now. It is when there's a 7 of diamond and 9 of heart in Jupiter, and you're displacing the 5 of clubs. So keep in the back of your mind that this is going to be transformational work and very rewarding work that you're doing. It will be a big hit.
Wow. That's like the best thing I could ever hear. Holy moly. I took a screenshot of that, including your copyright. So we know where it came from. Wow, man, Donna, I love hearing that. Yeah, I've never been so excited about anything. Like Stephen and I have been casting about for 20 years. That's how long we've been together. Like what we're doing, and we've tried many different things and learned so much over this time, and it feels like a complete idea that is like, it involves the business and everything, the creative, like every aspect just arose like a hologram, like on the push of a button, and it's like all there. Everything I've learned about marketing, everything I've, all this stuff, it's like everything's there. Like I'm just so blown away, and it's so fun and so rewarding at the same time. And I just feel like I have to do though what Lisa is saying, got to make sure that because this can be done in many different ways. It doesn't have to be exactly what we decided. And so yeah, this minimum, what is it?
MVP.
Minimum viable data product. What is, yeah. MVP.
Minimum, and
Yeah.
it's can be product or service. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Which, yeah. So I'd love to tell you all about it, but I want to keep the energy in, want to keep the energy in and not get too much advice in terms of that can dilute it or make us insecure. So it's kind of complicated, because you want to get help and you want to get advice and you want to listen, but at the same time also you don't want to be misled. Or you don't want to dilute your vision. Yes, Lisa.
Yeah. The one thing that I want to remind you and anybody else who's listening, when it comes to building products and services and websites and everything else, is that if, Henry, you are intent on selling this product, again, it's inviting people in, because remember, you are creating the product for them, right? As you are creating a website for them, you're creating services for them, because it's all about them. That's where a lot of us, that's, where I got caught up a couple times with my ego. It's like, well, I know you need this. And they're like, I don't want that. Right. So if you can be in alignment with what they want and what they need, then it's going to be a resounding success.
That's exactly right. And I hear you, Lisa, loud and clear, that there's like, something about being able to talk about it so I'm not talking about it right now, but if I were to talk about it, I would have to use too many words. I already know it. It's like I need to be able to say in 1-2 sentences what this is, and or at least certain parts of it. And I so why I don't have that is because I am not following the guidelines closely enough. And that's because I'm a rebel, and I never, don't tell me how to do it. And I want to do that this time. I want to listen. I know what I need to be doing. And so I want to listen to that voice.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can help you with that in Mystic Makers Business Portal too. So
And Lesley wants to share.
Am I not signed up for, I'm signed up for that, or am
you're on the wait list. Yes. And I'm going to be contacting you soon.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm on the wait list. Yeah, Laureli, you were going to say something.
Lesley, I know Lesley's wanting to share.
Lesley.
Hi.
Hi.
So when I first talked to you, I pulled a card and then all the cards after, and it said that you needed to cut things short. But really how to do that, I got the strength card for you. And it said that you were working with someone, but you do need additional help. And the reason why is because you're creating a lot of extra work for yourselves. Not that it's a bad thing, it could be very relevant, but the problem is you can get lost in it. And so you have to be stronger and to cut it off and cut off the ego as well. And then I saw you having success with it. It's going to be a rebirth for you.
Good.
Yeah, so it is going to be successful, but the partner is helpful, but you guys are creating more work. You need almost like another person. And if you don't want that other person, because I know you want to keep things tight and not have too many opinions, then I get the strength card for you, which means you have to be stronger in terms of cutting it. You have to really just be like, okay, no, like you have to, it's just something it's something you need to learn to do for this project.
So are you saying, I don't know what the words are. You haven't said them, but I think I get what you're driving at.
You probably do. You probably, yeah. It's like you're strong, but it's telling you need to be stronger. You need to, when it comes to your own personal work, it can be a web. And when there's two of you, it can be like, woo.
Yeah. Like,
and you're having fun, you're enjoying it. It's good, but you gotta, it's like, you've got to almost be like tough.
Yeah, be
and that's how
more focused.
That's how you're going to win. That's how you're going to get this project shorter. And you need to balance it. You need to get it, like you got to lasso it in. You've got it. I got the 2 pentacles for you. You've got to get it tightened. And the only way to do that is your tool is going to be, it's your strength. You've got to just, so you can do it.
You know, I think what you're talking about without, you know, I think what this is addressing is that I have ADHD. And so things can get very, very big.
And if there's 2 of you kind of enjoying it and having a great time, and it showed here, like you guys are having a party. Ooh,
yeah, we're having a blast. We're working and we're doing focused work too, but I can see how.
And then I kept getting all these wands, and I'm like, oh my God, she's doing a lot of work. Yeah. And like you both are, you're just like, but you're having a great time doing it. But then I got the 5 of Cups and I got the Death card, which is rebirth. And this is success for you, but you are going to enjoy it, you know? So emotionally, it's going to be very gratifying.
Yeah. So I think that I have to avoid the rabbit holes. I think that's
stronger with it. Yeah. Create tools for yourself. You know, we all do it, even without ADHD. There's little things that cause us to slip and make the project longer than it needs to be. This definitely isn't like emotional, like you want it, you're going to do it. But it's just like, you need some tools to kind of get you through all these projects, deadlines, timelines, and then do it, be strict with it. Yeah.
Okay. I hear you. I hear you. Deadlines. Yeah, I hear you. This really addresses sort of like what could get in my way very well.
Yeah.
So between that and the millionaire spread, I'm set.
All right. I don't know. Here, I'll show you what showed up. So here, so we've got guilt, right? Guilt cycle boss. And then so for guilt, it just seems like your cycle for me goes forwards and backwards to both of the other side cards. So you're in a cycle feeling guilty about the money that you're spending, with the time that you're spending, the money that you're not earning in putting time and energy into this. So there's something about that, right? Just the cycle and being caught here. And then
Just
cycle of making
worry.
decisions, right? So you're endlessly making, yeah, I guess more worried, but maybe you feel guilty maybe if you're giving it more time than you think you should be. And like that somehow you're wrong and blaming yourself. And that's why I think it comes up as guilt. And then, but there's cycle of making decisions. So I feel like the project has decisions, and also something about the project itself has something to do with people and decisions. But so it's just a cycle of choices, maybe decisions or choices or something. It just,
Oh, okay. Let me write down choices. Yes, there's a core thing. Yeah, shit, fuck. Sorry. There's a core thing that I have to make a choice. Let me write down what it is, because I can't tell you. I
that's
can't.
fine. This is fine.
Choice of. Oh, and the wonderful thing is I know this product so inside out that I literally know how to apply what you're saying. Okay, great.
And then,
Got
so
it.
this one over here, so I think of it as a paradox again. So is the shepherd the boss, or the herd that's escaping is the boss? And so it's really,
Mhm.
it's again, this cycle and this balance. And I feel like, and I feel like this pulls me back a little bit to what Lisa said, even though I didn't hear it enough that this is concrete. There's the project and what it's wanting and being birthed into the world. And there's what you want as a practical human in your life. And then there's this third thing that's of service to people. And so the service that it will be in the world. And so there are these three things. So
Mhm.
right now I'm seeing three, and maybe you see there are more, but it's, so as you make decisions, being aware of the birthing and emerging of it and what you want practically and the way it's to be of service. And you want to be holding and dancing with all three of those as to how you make these
Mhm.
decisions to have it manifest.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I think this is the first time in my life that I have a product that is not purely about what I think is good for others. You know what? It's not, it's for the first time something that's serving me. Well, I don't know how to say it exactly. Why I'm so excited is because it's all the elements for the first time. I'm also excited. It's not just like, oh, this will be good, this will help. Like even the cards, I loved making them and I felt so divinely guided, but it was more about what they can do for people, not what they can do for me. I've never had a project that has this element of what it can do for me in it.
Yes, and to me, there are ways that you see things bigger and see things more like smaller and more exactly so. And sometimes the exactly so is what can get in the way and have things take too much time. And that's exactly the whole MVP thing. You have to make the messy, dirty draft that's just enough to get feedback. The right kind of feedback from the right people. Like it's, who's it to be of service of, and how is it to be of service to them? And how can you create a context with something so simple where you get that feedback? So you see how it meets them and it doesn't.
Okay, okay, all right. It's a little vague for me, but that's what happens to me so much with your readings from me.
I watched you make your cards, and I didn't know they started so long ago, but I watched you make them and you kept sharing about them in panels. And in some ways, there's an exquisiteness. There's an exquisiteness that's there that's so important. And part of that journey is why it took so much time. And it's important to determine how much of that, the exactness of the way the vision comes through you have to get out in this first version.
Okay. I fully understand that now. Yeah, there's like this truther in me. Truth, it might not be the right word, but is this the truth? Is this the truth? And you've heard me say it so many times about the cards. Is this the truth?
Exactly the best decision? And are you guilty of not making the best possible decision? And really, is it simply good enough? And you're having to find good enough in a way that you've never found before.
Yeah, that's right. Ooh, I really, really, really love that. That's really concise now. I don't know how to put this in words.
Good enough. Just write down the phrase good enough.
Oh, okay. I'm
What's
writing good enough. Good enough.
What's good enough?
That's exactly right. And with the ADHD, that's like a bear. Oh, that's like, it's going
And-
like crazy on me.
Go
Okay,
ahead. I
good
think
enough.
Lisa
That's
wants to
right.
say something
And this
else.
will be great because Stephen is exactly like that. He's totally like, it's good enough. It's good enough. So I need to listen to him. Lisa.
Yeah, Henry, just piggybacking off of what Laureli said, I feel like we're in our business drop-in session right now. I love this. A couple of things. One, and I wrote it in the chat. My mantra is launch it messy, always be testing and iterating, and give yourself permission to know that you can launch other versions. So when you get your first version out, and then you can launch the next one and the next one. So there's that. And then I articulated this a few months or so ago, and I understand I'm a recovering perfectionist.
Mhm.
And in my life, if I didn't over prepare, I was under prepared, right? From everybody else's perspective, right? I could see somebody else come unprepared or with little material and truth to what they were saying, and they got accolades and applause. And I'm like, I've got, mountains of material and research that I've done. Why am I not getting? But I just realized it was, my relationship to the people around me. So give yourself permission to know that you can always launch a new version later.
Yeah. Okay, that's really, really great. We're really talking about the dark side of this because I'm so excited about the good side. I've never been this excited about anything in my life. So even when I signed a record contract, it wasn't exciting like this. So this is really a high point right now, certainly in the anticipation. So I'm really, really happy about that. And I can't wait for you to launch that thing. So I have something to keep me on the straight and narrow. So this is all really, really great stuff. I was going to say something, but I've forgotten now.
Well, if it shows up, you can share. I just want to say I deeply appreciate Donna and Henry for asking questions. It's been great fun asking, answering each other's questions. Very lovely. Yeah, and I think everyone been learning from watching us do all this. Well, so thank you so much, everyone, for being here for the panel. Practitioners, I'm going to have you go through and reintroduce yourselves briefly. Make sure to share your contact information so it's in the video. So maybe let's just dance around in a similar order to before. So I think this is Henry and then Lisa and then Lesley. No, Donna and then Lesley. Yeah. So Henry, tell us who you are, what you do, and how people can contact you. And I'll put all your info in the chat again.
Okay, so I can be contacted directly at Melanie. Thank you. It's such a wonderful little message you left in the chat for all of us. I can be contacted very easily via email at henry@henryhello.com. You can go to my website, and there's lots of, it's a big website because I have many services, and it's henryindiaholden.com, and India like the country. And I have a special going on that's called the Fresh Slate, and it's so 3 sessions for $99. And so what else is there to say? Yeah, I teach the tarot as well, and I teach an emergent tarot. So it's called emergent tarot. And so I believe that, like I said before, that the wisdom is within you, but perhaps you need someone to help bring it out, just like I was doing here with asking this question. These are answered. The answers I've gotten are answers that I would give, but it's different when it's not your thing. And so we all need coaching, and we all need help, and we all, or don't need, but benefit from and thrive with. And this is the heart of what I do. And so if you are interested in finding out whether you want to work with me or not, you can set up a free consult. And if you go to henryindiaholden.com, go to making an appointment, there's a drop down of the different kinds of appointments you can make, and you can select the free conversation. We'll spend 20-30 minutes on seeing what you need and whether I'm the right person to help you with that. Is there anything I'm forgetting, Laureli? Oh, yes. And my deck is $49. It is colorful and beautiful and highly diverse, and includes the whole world, including all the the ones who are not humans. Anything I need to say, Laureli, that I haven't said?
learning to use the cards. How do people learn to use the cards?
Oh yes, so the deck has a online manual, and so that's quite extensive. And so if you want to teach yourself, and when you buy the deck, the link is there to the online manual. It's only available to people who own the deck, or people who take the class. You can take the class, and it's you don't need to own the deck, but it's obviously beneficial. And I don't have one scheduled right now because I'm on this amazing project. But if a few people say, hey, we want to take the class, then I can throw one up. I mean, the class is ready and set, ready to go. All right, that's it for me. It's just been great to be with you all, and I'm just really, really stoked to it was wonderful. Thank you, Laureli, for having us.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks, Henry. All right, Lisa, and then Donna and Lesley.
Hey, Mystics. I'm Lisa Stewart of CoCreateMagic.com, CK for magic. And I am a creative mixed medium, psychic seer, and energy healer. And I love helping people in their businesses. I help people find the courage to co-create their magic, to build their dreams through growing their confidence and their income. And I've got a couple of specials that are going on right now. Couple of free downloads for you. The Business Moon Strategy Transit Calendar for 2023-2024. This is to channel moon magic to ignite unstoppable success. You can download that for free. It will immediately and auto-magically integrate into your Google Calendar, or if you want to download the CSV file for the other calendars that you might use, it will be available to you. Also, if you are starting or growing your business, download the free Map and Plan Your Magical Business. It's a budget-friendly planner, and it's going to walk you through all the elements from aether to fire, earth, water, and you'll be able to start your business there. And then I am introducing Mystic Maker's Business Portal. It's everything that you need to start and sustain your business. So if you want to quickly build your brand reputation and become a recognized authority and guide for the rest of your community, please join me there. If you want to learn how to develop your own brand and brand messaging, you'll learn what it means to build that foundation and then build everything from that. Because otherwise, what's the point in starting a business if you don't have a solid brand foundation? So I invite you to join, at least lock in the founder's price by joining the wait list. So you can do that, and it's going to be a low monthly price of $33 a month. Once I get the beta all ironed out, all the wrinkles ironed out of that, it's going to go up to $55 a month. So that's my promise. And my promise to you is that you will be able to grow your business and scale your business on the what I call the trefoil approach. It's a three-prong approach to help keep balance and energy sustaining in all aspects of your business. So I am needing breakfast right now, so I've got low sugar, and I can't wait to help everybody on their journey. So stay magical.
Thanks so much, Lisa. All right, great. We've got Donna and Lesley. We're almost finished. Thank you for everyone for going a little bit long. Donna.
So again, my name is Donna Webb, and I use Cardology, or the ancient science behind playing cards, to help people navigate their current and future energies related to any aspect of their life, whether they're wondering about a relationship or jobs, or new projects and things like that. You can check out more about the system itself by looking at my website, and the website is destinycardsystem.com. There you can even schedule a personalized reading. I'm offering a special with today's event for 25% off of a personalized destiny card reading, which is between 60 and 90 minutes. And so that would be less than $100 to have a 90-minute session. I also have other kinds of reports and that you can order. And if you are interested in applying Cardology to raising children, you can follow me on Instagram. My account is Parenting with Cardology. And my book will be out on Amazon soon, and that will be for, not too soon though, but it will be out when the timing is right. And it's called Unlocking the Potential of Children, and will be available at $24.99. And the book, basically, you can look up any child and it will describe the personality traits of that child. And it even includes like some of the lower expressions of children, and offers research-based strategies of how parents or teachers could work with children with those lower qualities, and raise the frequency level of those children so they can reach their highest potential.
Great. Thank you so much, Donna. And Lesley.
Hi, I'm Lesley, and my company name is Baroness Levy Deluxe, and I'm a photographer, graphic designer, and I do the tarot readings, but they actually all incorporate together. And I will be doing MeWe events and some other events where I'm showcasing, and I'm going to be doing a photography special where I do some cosmic portraits, mermaid portraits, just like stay tuned, because I will be letting Laureli know the details of that. So if you want to see more of my work or find out about my brand, it's baronesslevydeluxe.com, and that's one S. And yeah. And if you want a reading after, I'm doing a $40 special. You can get more details in the chat.
It's great. Maybe could you spell out Baroness Levy Deluxe for everybody so everyone on the video
Sure.
can find you?
Yeah. BaronessDeluxe.com. And my photography is under the glamourcircus.com. But that one site, Baroness, is my umbrella to my photography and my jewelry and connection to my social media. So if you're interested and you like my vibe and want to learn more.
Great, thanks. And I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader, body psychology coach, matchmaker, and an O-card reader. And you can find out more about me at intuitiveeyereading.com, matchmakingsoulmates.com, MeWeFairs.com, and ThriveWise, thrive-wise.com. And my cards really aren't anywhere, so you got to just talk to me about those cards, however you want to reach out to me. And we at MeWe Fairs have lots of other upcoming events in person. We have a fair in Eugene, Oregon coming up September 9-10, and then we'll be in Portland September 15-17, and then we'll be in Linwood again October 14-15. And online, we have a metaphysical singles mingle coming up on August 31. So it's an opportunity to connect authentically with people that are also dating, open to dating or getting ready to be open to date. So you can connect more deeply and quickly to find out if it's really a good partner for you. Do they really like who you are? And then Wednesday, September 20, we have a panel on finding peace. And that's in honor of International Day of Peace that comes up on the 21st, right there at the equinox. And then Friday, September 22, we have an intuition, metaphysics, and energy practice circle where you can practice your gifts with peers, expand and open your intuition. And Sunday, September 26, we have an online fair again with about 20 practitioners here online. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. You can find out more about all of our events at MeWeFairs.com, MEWEFAIRS.com. Thank you so much to everyone who asked questions, including those of us on the panel, and for all of us answering questions. We wish we'd had more time with DoveLight, and there was another practitioner that was going to join us that does color energy cards, and we're going to have to do some card panels again. This was lots of fun. Well, thank you so much, everyone.